Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a scary day in markets today right now. Chips are down huge percentages. They're still falling. SanDisk is under $1,200 a share. SK Hynix is down a huge amount. All chip stocks are basically down today. Markets are really nervous right now because China's getting into the lithography machines. Not just that, but Bloomberg posted an article about circular financing. And market fears are essentially here, especially in the chip market. The Kospi index dropped around 10% overnight, kind of continuing some of the fears from yesterday's slump in chips specifically. This is mostly memory related here. If we take a look at SanDisk, here's SanDisk right here. It's not a good looking chart right now for memory plays. Memory plays have been falling this morning by a pretty big margin. Market fears are here. On top of that, though, oil is down. You know, the president said yesterday he think Iran wants to make a deal and more. So, you know, we got some optimism around oil. Oil hit under $80 a barrel earlier this morning. It's back up to over 80 now, but oil is actually down in the wake of all this stuff. And, yeah, we'll see what we get, but markets are really nervous right now. We did have Coca-Cola earnings drop. We do have the Fed meeting this week and more. But, yeah, again, Oman is said to have presented to Iran a proposal for a joint regional mechanism to, quote, manage the strait with, quote, voluntary fees. They're reportedly demonstrating flexibility over the Hormuz Strait. Crude futures are softer. Again, if you look at oil right here, it is down to $81 a barrel. This is after continued efforts to end the U.S.-Iran war and a pause in strikes on day 3. Pause in strikes. We have the FOMC meeting looming tomorrow this week, guys. We got the ADP non-farm employment change, but yeah, again, markets are nervous. The Kospi index down 10%. China started DUV tool production, and ASML is down big because of that, because they essentially had a monopoly over those, and ASML is not reacting well. Down 8.5% or more. Sectors are mostly, you know, back and forth, but the really scary numbers are in chips specifically here. Look at MU today, guys. MU all the way down to 840s. Look at SanDisk all the way down to 1180s. Look at SK Hynix down to 135s. Even SpaceX, which is not really related to this, but it's still falling down. It's at 110. Nvidia's under 190s, hit 193 earlier. So now Michael Burry is technically green on Nvidia. You know, that was his one trade where he wasn't green on. Now he's technically green on that. But again, broader sentiment is supported by optimism around U.S.-Iran talks, which weigh on crude, and, you know, ASML down on China DUV concerns. We did have some other earnings come out, but markets are freaking nervous right now, man. Does anybody want to buy chips right now? I don't know if I necessarily do. We also had PayPal earnings, but it's a little bit scary here. We still have, if we look at the Fed odds right now, we still have about a 36% chance of a rate hike. Now, this has gone up slightly over the last few days, but one of the interesting things is generally the day before we'll get a direction in terms of what the Fed is going to do. At this point in time, there is a 36% chance we're going to raise rates tomorrow for the Fed meeting. A 36% chance we're going to raise rates tomorrow. You can see yields are reacting in such a way here. We can put up 2-year charts for 10-year or 2-year treasuries here, but yeah, they're nervous right now, man. Markets are nervous. Yields are down a little bit on lower oil prices, though, but we're still pricing in a you know, a decent chance we raise rates. Now, Citadel Securities said Fed Chair Kevin Warsh could surprise with a rate hike this week, which, again, usually I'm like, hey, we're going to pause. Or, you know, I usually tell you guys with pretty good probability that we're going to do a specific action here during the Fed meeting. I think this one's a little bit different now. I think we're at 36% chance of hike odds. Those are not low necessarily. You know, obviously, we're going to pivot to his tone and see what his tone looks like. But markets are nervous right now, guys. Markets are not, you know, at ease today ahead of this FOMC meeting, even with oil prices dropping, because if it's not one thing, it's another. And today, you know, if it's not fears on high oil, it is chip fears, you know, reigning supreme. Here's ASML. Look at this one, down to 1,500. SanDisk, man, under 1,200. This thing, Britt was talking about it with me this morning. This thing is now down 50% from its highs. Really a little bit, not quite 50%. I don't know. It's almost exactly 50% actually. But yeah, markets are nervous right now. Maybe we'll get a deal. Maybe optimism is there. But Bloomberg did post an article regarding circular financing. You can see that here. And circular financing just means it's not organic. Essentially, they're just buying each other's stuff. And they're investing in each other. And it's not organic. It's not demand. It's more circular. And that is freaking people out regarding chips as well. You can kind of see the graph here that Bloomberg posted, where this company is investing into this company, and this company is investing into this one, and this company is investing into this one, and they're all investing in each other, and then that company's investing in the other one. And you can just kind of see the circle that this makes in terms of spending. So essentially, again, it's not organic is the fear. And yeah, chip fears are here today, guys. Chip fears are here. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? Make sure you hit the like button on your way into the stream. We appreciate it. PayPal did post 138 EPS versus 128 expected. Revenue of 8.68 versus 8.48. Good numbers for the most part here. But yeah, markets are freaking nervous right now. Does anybody want to buy chips? Let's say hello to the chat here. What's up, chat? What's up, Britt, you there? I don't know. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Old Hack? What's up, Ashawn? What's up, Dave? What's up, Glass? What's up, Britt? You there?
Yeah, I don't know what caused that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. What's up, Steve? What's up, AI? What's up, Rooftop, Pelican, SpaceX, CP, Edson, Matthew, Dark, Ace, Shake and Bake, Haze, Slum, Shadow, Checkerboard, Shadow. Oh, I said Shadow. Darkage, Raga, Ian, Alith, South, Reggie, Ranthony, VV, Proxy, Finch, Kaltenberg. Hello, guys. Hello. Tat. Let's see. Let me go through the list. Glass half full. Want to be a trader. Lucas. PSM. Knights. Zeke. Solar. Ruben. Jay. What's up, Jay Violet? Ricardo. Techie. Infection. Digital. First Choice. Gene. Radioactive. FM. One Set. Just for Fun. Palantirs. Top one. Reader. You read fast, bro. I try. What's up, Trent? Hello, guys. Alexis. Good morning, Gene. How you guys doing today? Market is freaking scary, man. Another scary day in markets. Honestly, bro, when I hung up trading yesterday, and we made a good bit yesterday, but when I hung up trading, one of the questions I asked myself is, I wonder if we rebound. You know, we have big tech earnings this week as well, man. Like, look, if we get a hawkish tone by the Fed tomorrow, and the earnings do not do well in the evening, and then Thursday's earnings do not do well in the evening, the chip markets continue to fall, that's setting up a pretty scary scenario in markets, no? Like, that's setting up a pretty scary scenario. Like, we have these big slumps, these big fears. The NASDAQ, again, when we look at the NASDAQ here, bro, the NASDAQ has been over 28,000 at the very least for a long time. We broke under 28,000 today. You can see the big slumps we took in yesterday at the open, but we broke under 28,000. We're still under it. We're at 27,900s here on the NASDAQ. So it's fallen from almost 31,000 down to under 28,000 in Q. If you look at the percentages, I think we hit 30,975 or something like that. We now hit 27,839. So on a percentage basis, the NASDAQ is down 10+%. This is technically correction territory as of now in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is technically in correction territory, which is over 10%. The NASDAQ is in that now. We are down about 10.12% or so from the all-time highs in the NASDAQ here. So, you know, just to add to more fears this morning, that's what's going on. Yeah, final retribution day. Get your buying fingers ready. Buy or sell today, guys. Let me know if you want to buy or sell. Honestly, it's a scary day in markets. About to be a clearance sale. South Korea is already down over 30% in the past 6 weeks. I would say it's a crash. Yeah, 30% is a crash. I would say memory is certainly crashing. That's as my title suggests here. I would say memory is certainly crashing. SanDisk. Yeah, SK Hynix at 135s. So, yeah, I mean, like memories. Go ahead, dude. Cut me off, bro. Do it. I'm not even doing that jokingly. Like, keep talking, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
I will. You sound like someone from a Garfield cartoon. Crash.
Yeah, that's right. You know, sounds like Pee Wee Herman. You know.
Also, your lead-in music sounded like a Fort Minor song for some reason.
Oh well, that was what I was going for. You know. It's going to get ugly. Red or green today, guys? Do we bounce back or does the correction continue? Is the poll today? Do we bounce back today or does the correction continue?
I think it continues. And also, good morning, everybody.
I mean, if it continues, all right, so we got a poll going live now. Here's the poll. Vote on the poll. Let me know how you guys feel. But I got bounce back, red continues is going to be the two options of the poll. But markets are down. S&P 500, though, less tech heavy. It's holding up a little bit better. It's still down, yesterday, obviously. You can see the drops we did last week and yesterday for the S&P. So it's still, it's still trying to hold. The S&P is not down as much as the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is just so tech heavy that it's going to get dragged down when tech falls, obviously, more. But yeah, a lot of this has to do with lithography machines in China. It's the foundation to the entire chip story. All right, just so you guys understand this here, let me put up something that is relevant for lithography. We'll put up ASML. But yeah, let's just talk about this. Look at ASML here, guys. This is an ADR just like SK Hynix, but look at the drops in this thing. This thing was at 1800s yesterday. It's at 1500s today. So lithography machines are the big story. They print the microscopic circuit patterns onto silicone wafers to make chips, right? Think of it like a photocopier, but at 100,000 times smaller than a human hair, and way more expensive. Like an NVIDIA H100 chip has 80 billion transistors on a chip smaller than a postage stamp. And each transistor is 5 nanometers wide, 50,000 times thinner than a hair. I deep dived into this. Yeah, I took a deep dive into this earlier. Only lithography machines can create this like small pattern on it. So there are two main types: DUV, which is deep ultraviolet, uses 193 nanometers light, makes chips down to 7 nanometers, and multiple companies make these really. But the crown jewel is the EUV machine, the extreme ultraviolet, uses 13.5 nanometers, makes chips down to 3 nanometers, and the key, only one company makes them, and that's ASML. That's why we have ASML on the chart here. It's at, again, big pullbacks in ASML. It's in the Netherlands. Each machine costs about $200 million. I need to buy one of these machines. Yeah, I need to buy one. Every advanced chip in the world uses their equipment. Taiwan Semiconductor, Samsung, Intel, everyone needs ASML. Now, in October, the U.S. banned advanced chip sales to China. The Netherlands joined in, and so that included the ASML EUV machines banned from China. And so now China's largest domestic maker, SMEE, is stuck at 28 nanometer capability, which is years and years behind the U.S. So China physically can't make AI chips domestically, and that's why this news matters. So CXMT Corp is up almost 500% in its IPO debut in China. It's their largest memory chip maker. And so, yeah, they can make DDR4 and DDR5 using older DUV machines they got before restrictions. So Chinese chip stocks are becoming a competitor essentially now to Micron, Western Digital, SK Hynix. And that's why memory stocks are essentially getting crushed today. This news dropped yesterday morning. Again, MU down, WDC down, NVIDIA $750 billion in AI deals. That circulating news from Bloomberg reignited circular financing deals, plus DeepSeek suspending fundraising after a viral US-China post. There's a lot of stuff going on that's scaring the chip market, but that's basically it in a nutshell right now. Again, China's CXMT IPO went up 466% yesterday. And so the chip, these are the fears right now going on in markets. MU down to 830s right now, man. It's still dropping. I mean, on a technical basis, it looks like a buy, right? But I don't know if I want to buy it today, guys. Let me look at our poll. On our poll, we're pretty split down the middle here. We're at, man, my poll's not even working. I think we're at 42%, 57% now. I think the red continues. So most people are still red. Yeah, Applied Digital. They did good yesterday, but again, it's still a scary market. Hey, what's up, Sam?
Yeah, with the market running down, John, I think it might be time for one of those rarely seen bull bear polls.
Oh, bull bear, dude! I'll make you guys a deal. I will not ask you guys bull or bear at all today. I got some constructive criticism yesterday, and if there's anything I am good at, it's accepting constructive criticism. And so they were like,
Top
yo,
3, I'd
dude.
say.
They were like, we love you. You're the greatest. You're the most handsome guy ever. You know, you know, we named our dog after you, they said, I'm pretty sure. But they also said they hate the bull bear questions. And so again, never again. Or, I'm not going to say never again, but we'll probably do it again. But I'm going to try not to do it today. Apply Digital up there. We are up there today, guys.
So also, John, you trying to tell me that like it's an incredibly hard to manufacture tiny microscopic, chip is more expensive than hair?
I'm pretty sure I could build one of my own. I'm pretty confident.
Plus, like,
I'm a confident guy.
Plus, like, hair's worth a lot, dude. So,
right.
I'm not really convinced.
Right, for sure. Yeah. Well, dude, journalist that, Britt. Get into it.
Right.
Dig deeper.
I will.
We need stories here. Why not? No Bury poll? Yeah, Bury is technically green on NVIDIA, guys. Look at NVIDIA. It is now under it's under 200s. Bury got in this, at 198s? And so we are under that level now. Market fears are here. PayPal had good earnings. It's reversing here as well. One of the things, though, is I'm actually green on the day. All right, so I'm actually green on the day. Why? Because I hedged a lot of my tech positions with Coca-Cola, which is up decent. I've been holding Coca-Cola. It's up a huge amount. It pays a pretty good dividend. I like Coca-Cola. I try not to drink it often because it's not good for you. But, Netflix up big today as well. Look at Netflix. 71s this morning, guys. 71s. I'm still getting hit on some other stuff, but I'm actually technically green on the day, all things considered here. I'm still waiting for Nike to bounce back. Amazon is up today. So, you got some stocks that are down, obviously related to chips, but then you have like hedge positions where like people like Apple, because they have not engrossed themselves as much in AI as some of the other big tech Mag 7 stocks. And so Apple is doing okay, all things considered, and they have earnings this week as well. So maybe Apple can save the market. But Boomer Index. Yeah, Apple running up here. Yes, Steve, I'm on it. I don't know. I have to go check when I bought Netflix. I really don't know. But I do love to see it up for sure. Who in the world even came out with this idea of correction? I mean, what do you mean? But Coca-Cola treated me right today. I'm in Microsoft as well. It's green too. So instead, he makes a bounce back bull or red continues bear. Yes. Listen, I didn't say I wasn't going to find a loophole here. Are you guys optimistic today? AMD. Yeah, let's take a look at AMD. Look at AMD here. AMD's down. We're about to hit the mid-July lows that we showed up at 460s. We're at 469s right now. Overreact still can't make high bandwidth memory. 100%, Jason. But still, why is Apple so strong? Apple's strong because, you got to understand the story of Apple over the last 4 years, 5 years, right? Since AI started becoming a big thing, people criticized Apple originally because it was not as deeply involved with AI. Earnings reports would come out and people would be like, yo, Apple's going to pivot to AI. This is going to be a big earnings quarter for Apple. And then it wouldn't. And Apple would react negatively to those things. And that seemed like a bad thing that they weren't pivoting to AI. They weren't getting as deeply involved in AI as people wanted them to be. But now we're here years later, and the same thing that people criticize them for is their saving grace right now regarding Apple. People criticize them, but now that is making people much more optimistic regarding Apple. It's kind of like a hedge against AI. It's still tech. It still benefits from tech gains. It still makes a lot of money. I believe it's the largest company in the world now by market cap. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but I believe Apple is now officially the largest company in the world by market cap. But again, I could be wrong. I might be misremembering it. But yeah, Tesla is a dumpster fire still. Tesla down to 304s right now. Look at Tesla. Tesla down to 300. So again, Michael Burry shorting Tesla. So he's doing well. Yeah, I thought that was the case, Shadow. Yeah. Okay, everybody's saying you're right. Just continue to accumulate if you're a long-term investor. No, absolutely. Let them drop, John. They are Omega overpriced. Which one? Is a healthy pullback? Yeah, I mean, listen, once a year, generally, we at the very least get a 10% correction. At least once a year, we get a 10% correction. And so you can say that's what this is for this year. I don't know if we've necessarily had one. I'm sure we kind of have, though. Because of with everything going on, I'm sure we've already had a 10% correction with the Iran conflict. No, I'll have to look at the NASDAQ here, but here's the year on the NQ. I mean, we had this little guy right here. Maybe not. Maybe we haven't had one this year. Let's see, December down to, or we hit these all-time highs in January. We fell from 26 down to 23. That seems like a big enough correction, but this is the second. Yeah, that's what I was looking at right here. The first one is here down to here. Right in the middle of the Iran conflict. Yeah, this pullback should last a few more weeks. Yeah, the Kospi index again down 10%. So yeah, we've been getting hammered in a lot of these areas here. Tesla is going to buy power from KKR-backed Arizona solar battery plant. Boeing just dropped earnings, so Boeing posted operating cash flow of 1.36 billion. They expected 687 million. So here's Boeing's numbers right here. But Boeing did report numbers just now. We could look at Boeing here. They did drop numbers. Let's see how they're reacting. They're green. Boeing's technically green. And again, here's their numbers in the chat right now. Yeah, is it time to buy software, maybe? Yeah, there's the numbers in the chat right now. What's your favorite sector to buy right now? Do you want to buy memory on the pullback? Do you want to buy hedges against memory? Do you want to buy software as a hedge, maybe against tech? Do you want to buy, retail, Home Depot, Coca-Cola, or more? What do you guys, what sector are you guys interested in? We can take a look at gold here today. I'm assuming gold is going to be down a little bit. Yeah, gold is going to be down a little bit, mostly from yield fears, but SpaceX going down to 99 today. I mean, hell, it might. It's not that far away. That would be another 10% drop or more for SpaceX if it gets down there. Memory, Amazon, gold, banking, tobacco, medical, chips, SanDisk. Are chips oversold? I do agree that you could argue here that, China still can't make HBM chips. Yeah, they could use some old version or they can produce some older style chips, but they're still years away from being able to compete in a huge way. The lithography machines are kind of one of those things, but I don't know. Is this an overreaction, chat? Yes or no? I think you could argue both. I think long term, we're still probably fine here for these memory names. But short term, obviously, there's risks with everything going on. Oil's starting to jump back up here a little bit as well. Look at futures for oil. Did anybody get any single stock futures as well? Look at oil though. Oil's about to go green on the day. So oil's starting to move up. That's the one saving grace is oil is down right now. It's the one saving grace in the market. OPEC reportedly expects to hold 26 output steady after September, according to delegates. Boeing again did negative 76 cents. They lost more than expected per share, revenue of 24.6 billion. I also see production is resuming at the El Field and Wafa oil fields in Libya. We got some other stuff here, but look at oil start to jump. I'm trying to make sure I don't see any news from this. Yeah, I don't see anything making oil jump except maybe the OPEC Plus expects to hold output steady after September. But yeah, they missed EPS by a big margin here. Retail and oil probably won't bounce back. International, long-term IGV. Campaign evolved. What about campaign evolved?
I mean, other than the fact that it's great?
It is great. I like it. We've been playing it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it is great. TOS has stock futures now. Yeah, I'm looking at TOS. I don't see anything really though that I can trade. I don't see anything tradable. Like I pulled up Nvidia, and this is what it looks like. So it's not really tradable right now. If you're on TOS, what's the symbols that you can trade for stock futures? Because I'm not really seeing any. I'm still really looking forward to single stock futures. I'm waiting for them to get some liquidity and volume though. But yeah. Short oil? I don't know about shorting oil. Oil's almost back green on the day though when it was down so much. And again, the one of the other big stories is Bloomberg posted an article regarding circular financing. You can kind of see what they mean here, where it all goes down to like here, and you can kind of see the big circle of financing around it. And OpenAI it almost looks like a snowman. But basically, companies are investing in each other versus organic investments. Hey, what's up, Shadow? Good morning, chat. What's up, Jono? Yeah, no, I'm looking at S Nvidia, but nothing. Again, when I pull it up, it looks useless. I was looking at S Tesla or S Apple. I don't see those either.
And gold's down like 35 or 40 bucks today too.
Yeah, gold's falling. And when we look at yields aren't like a crazy amount down. They're kind of flat. They're waiting for the Fed meeting tomorrow. The Fed meeting is going to move yields so much that a lot of these are just waiting for the Fed here, you know?
Yeah.
And we also have like GDP and PCE inflation later this week. We got GDP on Thursday, PCE inflation on Thursday, big tech earnings tomorrow. So remember, guys, tomorrow we got SoFi. What do we have this evening? Yeah, we got a couple things. We got like Visa this evening, Ford, SK Hynix this evening. That's actually probably a pretty big one right now, all things considered. It's the SK Hynix one. It doesn't drop until 6 o'clock Eastern, though, so we'll see what that looks like. But we got SK Hynix this evening, Tilray, and more. Tomorrow is when we start to get some of the big tech earnings come out. I'm curious to see what Apple does with their earnings. We got SoFi tomorrow morning, but yeah, tomorrow we get Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, ARM, QCOM, and more. So a lot of stuff dropping tomorrow, and then Thursday we get Apple, Amazon, Reddit. So big numbers coming out. Rate hike is over. What's up, Faye? How you doing? Nvidia buy the dip. How many times are you gonna sit there and miss the boat? We have seen this many times, dude. I bought the dip on Nvidia, bro. I like the Nvidia dip long term. Short term, who freaking knows what Nvidia is gonna do? But long term, I do like Nvidia as a company. The dollar index is up, showing like higher yield fears. How will the market react to SK Hynix earnings, up or down? I have no idea.
In the words of Charlie Murphy, you're a habitual boat misser, John.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like I'm a habitual boat misser for sure. Definitely that.
I mean, for him, it was a line stepper, you know. But...
Yeah. Somebody's asking me about Boeing earnings. I mean, I don't know, man. They were okay. They missed EPS by a pretty big amount, though. So, like, Boeing was expected to show up today at 28-cent loss per share. They showed up at a 76-cent loss per share. So they lost much more per share than expected here. Yeah, we got the Fed meeting tomorrow. So I wouldn't call them positive. I would say they're kind of neutral and they're reacting and such. They're up a little bit, but they're still kind of back and forth. Right now I'm watching to see if oil ends up going green on the day. It's close. Yesterday we bought oil and made some money here. I don't know what we're going to do now.
Palantir dropping now?
You said Palantir?
Somebody says in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, Palantir down to 126. It's in a range, though. Palantir's basically been in the sideways range. But yeah, it's falling right now.
AMD dropping this low feels like a good long-term buy and hold now.
Let's see what they say. AMD dropping. Yeah, I mean, I like AMD. I like tech in general. I think long-term averaging in makes sense. I'm not an investment professional, though. Don't copy me, obviously. But I think a lot of these seem to be cheap where they're at now. But we'll see, guys. It's time will tell. Again, long term, I think these are still going to be low. Short term, who freaking knows what we're going to get. What's up, Thinker? Yeah, here's gold. It's silver. Gold's still falling down. Gold right around $4,000 an ounce again, and I think that's a big level. Again, if gold breaks under 4K, I might buy some. AMD is a $60 stock. Alex Karp for president. Applied Digital earnings were pretty good last night. Yeah, I mean, they're one of the good names in tech. They had earnings yesterday. Yeah, so again, Applied Digital builds data centers, essentially. And so that's one of the saving graces for chips. But they didn't really hold, though, even with good earnings. I mean, most of the chip markets went down big. Not even chips, but just AI went down big yesterday. And so they didn't really hold even despite that. They're still down from yesterday's open for Applied Digital, unfortunately. Advanced Money Destroy. Yeah, we got Visa this evening. Hey, good morning, Chavo. Rate hike. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I say it probably 8 times a day, 9 times a day. We'll see if I say we'll see later. What are your thoughts on the space sector? I think SpaceX is kind of sketchy, for sure. Down a lot. Down from its IPO price. SK Hynix, I think, is sketchy also right now. Especially with earnings after the bell. A lot of these are just down big amounts here. And looking at our poll, 57% think the bearishness continues today. 43% think we bounce back. Yeah, let's see what we get. Yeah, listen. Filler phrases, I should say. Can we do a poll to see what everybody thinks about interest rates? I mean, we could ask the chat here, do we raise rates tomorrow, guys? I still don't think we do. I think we pause. I think markets might be pricing in a rate hike odd too high. But, I mean, there's a chance we raise. You know, if we raise, I think the president's going to throw a fit. But do we raise rates tomorrow, guys? Yes or no? Put it up in chat. Let's talk about it. No way. SK Hynix is a buy. I just bought. It doesn't matter. It's all for show. 100% no, we pause. No way. Pause. Yeah, I mean, I think we pause as well. Nail in the coffin if so. Yeah, if we do raise rates, I think the market's going to throw a tantrum and drop. Slightly, yes. Yes, verbal rate hike coming. No hike. No, due to the national debt. No, hold. I think so. Rate hike is possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know. Again, I always say this. I don't know if it's probable, but it's definitely possible here. Hikes. One more pause. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. September, if we look at the odds. Hold on, I'm going to.
I figured.
All right,
I figured
there we go.
Were.
Yeah.
Feel better?
Yeah. But if we look at the odds for a rate hike here, here's yields. Yields are down slightly on the day, even with everything, probably from lower oil. September, there is a 55.5% chance that we're going to have higher rates by September, essentially. And so if you calculate all this in, there is a 25% chance that we're going to get 25 next month and then 25 the month after, or the meeting after. So by September, there is a 25% chance we'll be 50 basis points higher, only a 20% chance that we're going to pause up until then. So by September, it's looking very probable, you know, that we are going to be, it's like an 80% chance right now that we are going to have higher rates by September here. So essentially, it looks like rate hikes are coming. I'm still looking at Apple, though. Apple now dipping down some. But yeah, there's an 80% chance we raise rates by September. Yeah, it looks like most people think we're going to pause. I believe we're going to pause as well. But I said this a lot yesterday, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I do not think it's like... I usually go with the bet, and I'm like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. I still think we're going to pause, but I think there's more variance in what happens tomorrow than there normally is. You know, like, I think we could go either way. It's still a majority likelihood that we pause, obviously, if you look at the odds. But I think there's a chance we race. You know, and again, I think it would be a bad move in the wake of everything going on right now to race. I think we already have markets correcting. We already have the chip market especially down over 10%. We got the Kospi index down 10% last night alone, down 30% after a few months. And I think markets are nervous right now. And so I think if we raise rates in the wake of all this stuff, markets might panic. If we raise, and this is a much less likely thing, but if we raise and Warsh is hawkish, you know, then we might be in trouble. So pause now, then he'll act like he's going to raise it, then he'll cut. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple other voters for sure nights, so I agree with you there. Last results for CPI and PCE were as expected, so inflation is under control at the moment, so no rate hikes. Yeah, but, okay. The last CPI and PCE reports were lower than expected, I believe, right? But that was before oil jumped back up, right? So, again, I showed this yesterday. The last CPI prints were lower, but you got to take oil into context here. You know, here's the month of June, right? So here's the month of June. June is right here. Since June, you know, June we fell a lot. We fell down to like 68s. June ended here. And now we are back up here. So I guess what the reason we got the low prints in June, last CPI report, was here. Right? Look at these drops and everything. So oil had fallen. Reducing inflation to a certain extent. Reducing fears and more. Now, oil has gone back up. Now, it hasn't gone back up all the way. It was a lot worse a week ago. It was back up to almost $95 a barrel and more escalation. But since then, we've had 3 days of strikes. But the point is, I expect July we're going to have a higher CPI report than we did last time. Why? Because oil's back up some. It's not up all the way. It's not back up to where it was. But it's back up some, at the very least. It looks like it's at least 50% of the way back up versus June. So that's my point, is that inflation might uptick in the next report. PCE inflation on Thursday is going to be for June, so I do expect it to show similar numbers to June. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me catch back up in the chat here. No hold. I stand with Burry. Cup and handle. They're going to fix it on the balance sheet. It's probably going to be a pause. Next month may hike. Bitcoin. Yeah, where's Bitcoin at right now? I haven't even looked at it today. Bitcoin at 63.5, down from yesterday as well. So this is not just affecting tech now. It's affecting a lot of different things. Hey, what's up, ERAB? Which will be September, October. It will align with the 4-year cycle at the bottom of Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a... I mean, we could have September, October. At this point, what's really interesting is that there's a 90+% chance we'll end with higher rates this year than we have now. There's like a 91.5%, 91.2% chance that we're going to end higher than we are now. This is for December. The biggest chance is that we raise rates 50 basis points by the end of the year. And again, oil, guys, is one of the interesting stories here. Oil up to 81.80s right now. So, swing trade oil, August, October, red Bitcoin months. If gold goes to 3,500, the NASDAQ will go to 20K. I hope not. It's probably going to be a pause. Yeah, I mean, we're going to pause probably, but there's a chance we don't. You know, there's a chance we raise. It's not nothing. You know, there is a, very obvious chance that we raise. It's not nothing. September, October rate hikes most probably. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, the Fed tries to cut it in the last 3 meetings. So, they make their most aggressive actions in the last 3 meetings of the year, right? We saw this last year. We saw it the year before with Jerome Powell. We saw it, a few different times where if they're going into a cutting phase, they do it in the last 3 meetings of the year. Generally, a lot of the time we pause outside of that. So I think we'll have one more pause, and then if we're going to do what a lot of people think we're going to do, which is raise rates, we'll see it in the last 3 meetings: September, October, and December meetings. Most likely. Yeah, I mean, those are from earnings, PB. Taco Tuesday, already factored in. Fed pause, raise now, pause later. You are dreaming if you think rates are going up this year. Yeah, we're down, Pew. Vegas Internet's down on my phone. I agree with you, bro, as always. Oh, well, thank you, sir. I try. I'm a pretty, It's easy to agree with me because I'm right about everything.
You're very agreeable.
Yeah. Powell loves cutting right before elections. Yeah, I mean... I'm tempted to short the NASDAQ here, too. Like, here's the NQ. We made a lot yesterday, though. Let's see what we get today, but... Why is my volume profile looking like that? Hold on, dude.
Okay.
Where's my volume profile, dude? Hold on. Are they doing some weird thing there where they make you pay for volume profile now?
I have a volume profile.
Mine's supposed to be here, but it's not.
Are we trading on the same platform?
Tradeovate, yeah.
Yeah, okay, then yeah, mine's there.
Yeah, I don't see mine. Oh well. I see this little guy right here, but it's not the same.
I think it's just trying to make it more challenging for you because you're too good.
Right, no, I believe that. Yeah, that's what it is for sure. I'm always tempted to short this here, though, but I do think it's a kind of a scary market. I mean, I think the obvious answer today is markets continue down. I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I think it's a possibility it happens. Hold on, market's starting to jump up a little bit more here, though, but we've been bouncing off of the 200 exponential all day. Let's see if we hold here. Short oil. Refresh. I did. Learn to sell your bags before it's too late. So you're a bear this morning? I don't know. I'm not necessarily a bear. I think that's the easy bet that, we might see momentum swing in. I think a lot of the time when we're down this much, we do like a dead cat bounce, even if we continue down afterwards. So I think we could see something in regards to like maybe a rebound into the open, and then at the open, maybe we drop or maybe we keep going back up. Basically, we could go up or down. What do you guys think? What do you guys think today? Let me know. What if semis go down, big tech up, NASDAQ will stay even? Yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot. That's when we get choppiness. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, but I think Warsh will cast his vote to lower the rate. I don't think he's going to lower rates right now. He would get so much heat for that. I don't think he's going to vote for a rate cut right now in the midst of everything going on. I mean, I certainly think, I think if we pause, he'll have a neutral to hawkish tone. I think that I think he's going to reference the lower inflation data that we're seeing, even though it's a little bit more outdated now with higher oil prices. I do believe he's going to reference that. So I think in that regard, he's going to be dovish, but I still don't think he's going to cut. I don't think he's going to cut interest rates. Again, I think he's going to find harmony with the rest of the Fed, and they are going to pause. Probably. I don't think they're going to raise. I think some of them are going to push, like some of the hawkish members are going to push for a rate hike, obviously. But I don't think they're going to get it, and I think they're going to get outvoted, and I think we're going to pause, essentially. But, who knows, man? Who knows? They're meeting today. The first day of the meeting's today, but time will tell. Again, guys, I'm going to ask this again. Does anybody have success with single stock futures here? Because I can't really find any that look tradable right now. I can try to trade some of these. Let's play with it, but trying to figure it out. Anybody find success with single stock futures? No more guidance given by the Fed. He said he was using different metrics now. Cutting chance may not be reflected in the dot plot. In my opinion, we'll get 2 basis point hikes by the year end. Yeah, Rob, I mean, and that's the most probable outcome here. Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit loose with my usage of jump and drop. Definitely. You're correct, sir. Cuss will happen next meeting. Nah, bro, I think you're wrong. I don't think we're going to do anything. We might just pause for the rest of the year. Or, I think we're going to raise. But I still think there's a good chance we pause for the rest of the year. Is it 0? No. But I'm tempted to short this, by the way, in the NASDAQ here. Look at oil. Oil's starting to, the saving grace today, like I said earlier, is oil. But memory is just dragging everything down so much. We don't really see any positive reactions to oil here. Gold still falling down. Look at gold. Gold's on the 4,023 right now, still dipping. Rejected at the 200 exponential, still falling down. Dot plot is accurate, just no September anymore. Or no summary of economic projections anymore. They're not doing the SEP anymore? I thought they were still doing the SEP. They did it last time. Might be early, but played the whole 28,000 number. Yeah, I mean, NASDAQ is right there around it. I mean, 28,000 on the NQ is right here. Big whole dollar number. So I'm definitely watching for that if we get up there. But it's interesting the fact that the NASDAQ is technically in correction territory. It's down 10% from its all-time highs. So the NASDAQ is technically in correction territory now. The other ones aren't. S&P and Dow are not. They're less tech-centered, but we're technically in a correction as of now on the NASDAQ. Why is MU down so much? I'm going to go over this again. I went over this earlier. But lithography machines are kind of front and center in this. Lithography machines they print microscopic circuit patterns on the silicon wafers to make chips. It's a photocopier, but way smaller, A single NVIDIA has H100 80 billion transistors. DUV, deep ultraviolet, is one type, but the big type is EUV. There's only one company in the world that makes it, ASML in the Netherlands, but every advanced chip in the world uses it. And so, but China's still, they like CXMT Corporation in China is up almost 500% in its IPO debut. This is what's front and center in the chip fears. It's China's largest memory chip maker. It's showing that China is starting to develop the capabilities without EUV. You know, so again, it's China's largest chip maker. It went up almost 500% on its IPO. And so memory stocks are getting crushed. Essentially, Chinese stocks and chip stocks specifically are becoming competitors to like MU, Western Digital, SK Hynix, and more. Like you see, SK Hynix is down. But essentially, China chip fears and competition is what's scaring markets, just to put it in an easier way. Again, Bloomberg also posted another circular financing article regarding NVIDIA. You know, you can see that circular financing graph here. This is what is front and center in these markets. This is what is scaring people in these markets, that, again, these AI companies are essentially just investing in each other versus getting organic demand, and that is freaking people out. NVIDIA down a lot. And I'm gonna ask the chat this again. Was Michael Burry correct? So far, he was, dude. Again, I've definitely not always said good things about Michael Burry, but I think in this latest trade, you know, thing, he's been correct. Now, we could certainly still rebound back up, but at this point in time, Michael Burry is green in everything he shorted. You know, the Big Short 2.0, you know, he's been green in everything he shorted. This included MU at about 1050. This included Tesla at about, what, 418s, I want to say. Tesla's at $300 right now. This is NVIDIA at 198s, is at 195. This is AMAT, I think, in like 700s. It's at under 500 right now. What else did he short? He shorted MU, AMAT. He shorted the, was it the SOX ETF? I think he shorted this one at like 650 or 7s. It's under 500. And there's one more I feel like I'm missing here in terms of Burry shorts, but he's green on everything he shorted, which is, you know, again, was he correct, guys? Gold price is already front running. Burry was right. A broken clock is right twice a day. I think he's nailing this one this time. Yes, yep, he was. Burry was correct. Yeah, I mean, I think he was too.
I say it definitely seems like he's right.
Yeah, I mean, he called the top at a lot of this as well. Again, I'm definitely not somebody that, if you guys have watched the stream for a while, you know, like, I'm definitely not always saying good things about Michael Burry, but I think in this instance, he's been right. He's been right.
Well, like at some point in a massive dip in like a specific sector of the market that he called, you got to give him credit. I mean, like at some point he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. He called the top at a lot of this. So we'll see what happens to these, but maybe long term, I think these are probably still cheap, all things considered. Oil is now rejecting at the previous closing price here. We're at 81.40s. So oil got rejected here. You can see the previous closing price at 81.92. John is at light speed today. Bro, I'm always at light speed, dude. I'm always at light speed. Base A has peaked.
I don't know. Some days you're only approaching light speed, but
yeah. I mean, it depends on how tired I am. I actually didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I mean, I slept, but I always wake up at like 4 a.m., you know, and then like I got to get up at 5:30. So I look at the clock and I'm like, crap, dude, I got an hour and a half. And then sometimes I'll fall back asleep. Sometimes I won't.
I hate that though. Like, honestly, I think when I wake up like an hour and a half before I got to get up, I'd rather just stay up, because nothing feels worse to me than rolling back over and having to feel like you just rolled over and then waking up again. Right.
No, for sure. And I think it's actually worse for you. Like if I get up at like 5 a.m., I can go back to sleep for 45 minutes. I almost never do though, because I've noticed I feel better if I get up at 5 a.m., even if I can sleep for another like 45 minutes until like 5:30, 5:45. But I feel worse if I do go back to sleep and then wake back up 45 minutes later. I think my body, like my brain, gets used to going to sleep, and then I'm forced to wake up again, and then I feel worse. So
I think so too, because I think realistically, like, unless like, okay, like if you went to sleep at 9 and you woke up at 1, clearly you didn't get enough sleep. But if you went to sleep at 9 and you woke up at 4:30, probably because your body, you know, was ready to wake up.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. Yeah, you're ready. I think some people don't need 7 hours. I usually do, but some people don't.
No, I mean, like a new study has actually come out showing that like people who experience mental problems later on in life, it's actually more common in people who sleep more than they need to. Like people who sleep 9-10 hours, like a lot of times it's linked to like depression and things like that, apparently. And they found out that getting too little sleep is not really as much of an indicator of mental issues later in life as getting too much sleep, believe it or not.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I heard an interesting theory about why you dream, and it makes perfect sense.
What's
sense.
The theory?
The theory is that, and I don't know how much, they've always said they don't know why people dream, right? It's always like a conversation starter, but but basically what it is that whenever you sleep, right, if you do not have some type of visual stimulus, then with blind people as an example, right, what happens when people go blind is that their other senses start to kind of overpower their vision. Audio upticks, touch, feel, sensation upticks, right? And so when you sleep and your eyes are closed and your vision is basically gone for an extended period of time, unless your body compensates with it by giving yourself visual stimuli, that it'll be just like blind people, that the audio and touch sensation and your other senses will start to take over those spots, right? And so what your brain does is every 90 minutes, it sends you visual stimuli, random stuff throughout the day or sometimes what's driving it, but it sends you random stimuli, visual stimuli every 90 minutes or so to keep those senses active, keep your vision senses active, so that the other parts of your other senses don't essentially overtake those.
Overwhelm it.
Right, and that makes perfect sense, right? Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, too.
Yeah.
Did you... well, okay, so, I mean, they haven't proven this, but do you know where they think deja vu comes from?
What?
I mean, like, the sense of deja vu. Like, I've experienced this before. They think they think you're picking up on other people's, like, memories and past experiences because, memories and... your brain synapses firing. I mean, it's all energy, and energy can't be completely contained, and so they think you're picking up on other people's memories and experiences. Right, so you're picking up electrical impulses that are being put out by other people's, nervous systems.
That's interesting. That was definitely more theory, I think, but it's interesting for sure.
Oh no, it definitely is, but it's a theory that's been around for about almost 30 years now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So AMD down to 470. No, that's not a bad one.
Great dreams about buffets. I don't appreciate that crack, Vegas, but I'll let it slide.
Yeah. Man, Britain getting heat this morning. Again, what stocks do you guys want to buy today? I'm going to say this again, man. I've said it before. Has anybody had success trading single stock futures? Because I don't see anything yet. The only one that'll kind of populate for me is Nvidia, and it doesn't show any price action. So it's still looking like they haven't really updated single stock futures in most major platforms here. No. Yeah, I know. I've rewatched the stream sometimes. I don't mean to just change the subject. Like, really, I'm trying to cover markets and watch what's going on. But I don't necessarily disagree with what Britt's saying either. Chips are up so much, a correction is normal. You said about deja vu, that deja vu is other people's, you're picking up on other people's memories.
Yeah. Also, deja vu is when you experience when you experience something that you think you've experienced before, and vujade is when you experience something you've never experienced before.
Oh.
It was a joke. Never mind.
It's getting too French for me here,
Yeah. Well, deja vu, vujade, it's backwards.
Okay. Yeah.
You didn't get it. It's okay.
Oh, I got it. I got it. All right, guys. Does anybody want to buy software? John, rate hike or no hike this week? I think we don't hike rates. I asked this question in the chat. Again, I don't think we raise rates this week. I think there's a chance. I think it's definitely a little bit closer than normal Fed meeting odds for rate hikes, and I think it's closer than most in terms of what the Fed's decision is. I think we could raise, we could pause. I think we still pause, but it's definitely not 100% likely. It's definitely like 99.8% likely, or whatever the spread goes to ahead of the Fed meeting. Right now, it's still 36% chance likely that we raise rates. And I think that's a scary catalyst right now, all things considered. I've talked about this a lot before. But I think markets are nervous still. I think, I think if we do raise rates tomorrow, we could be in a perfect storm scenario. And let me know, guys, if you think this is going to happen, right? Like, let me know if you think this is going to happen. but we could be in a perfect storm scenario. And what do I mean by that? If we raise rates tomorrow, tech earnings don't go well, memory's still correcting here. I think that's a situation where we could be in the midst of a bigger correction. You know, we raise rates tomorrow, markets are not going to like it. Tech earnings, we've seen tech earnings this season, which started a couple weeks ago, really, but we've seen tech earnings this season have good earnings and drop. A lot of companies have reported good earnings and fallen. Software fears are here, chip fears are here, AI overvaluation fears are here, circular financing fears are here, China fears are here. And I think heading into earnings season, it's a really important one. Just because of all those different things. Some of them related, most of them are related in some ways, but all of those different things are going on right now. And so if we get more suppression by the Fed in terms of interest rates and you know, in reference to rate hikes, that's a situation where we could have a perfect storm for downward pressure. Now, there's also the opposite chance where tech earnings do well, markets rip up, fears subside. It's possible too. I'm just giving you guys different scenarios. But just be careful the next 3 days in markets, guys. The next 3 days in markets are going to be crucial. They're going to be incredibly important. We have tech earnings, we got FOMC, we got PCE inflation, we got GDP data, and more. And then next week we get the labor report. Last labor report was weak. You know, the labor report on Friday, August 7th, is the next one. And the last one, we showed up at 57,000, noticeably under what was expected. Kind of a shocker in the labor market here as well. So, again, if we get weak labor, I don't know if the market might actually want weak labor right now based off of, you know, them not wanting hikes. And weak labor makes it harder to hike rates. But we'll see here, guys. We'll see.
And good morning to you too, Sam. Despite the eye roll.
Yeah, I mean, with all that said, I still don't think we're going to raise rates today. I don't think we're going to do it. I think markets understand this. I think the Fed understands it. There are a lot of people that are over leveraged. Look at a ton of margin calls this week. I may just bet on rate pause and watch to mention eggs on Polymarket. Yeah. We'll see. They are not hiking. No, I don't think they're hiking either. But I think there's a chance. John, I have a serious question. Do you think this rotation to software is real or just a trap? I mean, which rotation are we talking about? Do you mean the rotation into software out of AI? Do you mean the rotation out of AI into software? Depends on which rotation you're talking about. We could look at like IBM. IBM is up on the day, but I mean, don't get it twisted here. Like, look, IBM is still down a huge amount from its earnings. Like, I'm looking at IBM as a proxy to software. These are the drops that IBM has made since its earnings reports. And I say reports because it pre-released earnings and then had its last one recently last week. So, but IBM is still down a huge amount in regards to software. You could look at Adobe here in the same time period. And honestly, Adobe's actually doing okay. So we are seeing some rotation out of Adobe here. Yeah, Adobe ran yesterday. And I think the market's in a situation where when chips fall, software rises. And so that's kind of what we're seeing here. You can see like CrowdStrike, same thing. It's down a little bit though. Adobe doing okay though. Apple, people are rotating out of AI into companies like Apple as well. I don't know that much French. I can count to 10 in French. Deux, trois.
I can count like somewhere in the hundreds.
Yeah, I can't count that much on. 5th grade, I learned to count to 10 in French. That's the last time I learned French.
I should be fluent. I took French from 4th grade through 8th grade. I'm not fluent necessarily, but I should know a lot more than I do. But basically, at this point, all I remember is like numbers, colors, and like some fruits and stuff like that, and a few other things. But like, definitely nowhere near what I should know.
Yeah, I know more Spanish than French. I like Spanish. My dad speaks fluent Spanish, and so he's always wanted me to.
Oh, I know he does.
Yeah, like he's always wanted.
Where'd you find that? Where'd you find that picture the other day, by the way? Like, just real quick segue.
Which picture? Oh, the picture of you.
Yeah. And your dad.
Yeah, Kara and I were looking at old pictures, and we saw it.
That's weird. I think that was from like an old family Christmas party that y'all were at for some reason.
Yeah, it was. It was. You pulled the fedora off, though. Kara and I were talking about it. Like, Britt pulled that fedora off. I'm usually against fedoras. You pulled it off, bro.
Heck yeah.
Pulled it off. Yeah, man.
I did. Like, I don't know if I could now with the short hair, but with the long, flowing locks, I definitely was working that fedora.
Right, for sure. You look like a rocker, dude. Britt had long hair, bro. Britt's hair was down to like his elbows.
It was actually down to my. Honestly, when it was at its longest, it was down to the top of my butt.
Yeah. Everyone freaks out. Every pullback now, it's circular finance is back, bro. It's not just circular finance, dude. There's so many different fears going on in markets today. It's a scary market. It really is. And I know I embellish things because that's my job here. We're here to entertain. Are you not entertained? But it is kind of a scary day. Chips are down a huge amount. Kospi's down 10%. Circular financing fears. China fears in terms of lithography and chip production. The Fed meeting tomorrow. Big tech earnings that we've already seen negative reactions to tech stocks this week and last week on earnings. Even with good earnings, they've still negatively reacted here. We have Tesla and other things like this dumping down. Tesla's at 300s a share. IBM is down a huge amount. Google originally reacted negatively to their earnings report. Where is Google at right now? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, they're still down pretty big from their earnings report as well. And so, the NASDAQ specifically is technically in correction territory. It is down over 10% from its lows to its highs at 30,975. It is down under 28,000 and is down over 10% from its highs. So that's technically correction territory in the NASDAQ. Again, the S&P is not down as much because it's less tech-centered. The Dow is not down as much because it's even less tech-centered. But I think there's reasons to be scared right now in markets heading into the FOMC decision. Yeah, Kospi down 10% overnight. I mean, we dropped yesterday, though, in chips as well. So most chip stocks faded yesterday. I remember yesterday at the opening bell, it was scary. On MU, $804 is the low that we've seen in the last little bit here. So $804 is really, when was this? Yeah, like the month and a half low on MU. So yeah, the last time we were down there was like, yeah, it was May. I had to figure out what month that is. But yeah, the last time we were down to under 804 was May. So we cracked that level in chips. Market still might keep falling down. We do have import-export data at 8:30 today, guys. So we do have import-export data at 8:30. I don't know how much it's going to move markets, but it's something. We also have the ADP jobs report that came out. I don't think anybody really cares about the jobs report, though. The ADP weekly report did come out. Let me see if we can figure out what it was. Yeah, it showed up at 15K, basically flat as expected here. So nothing major on that front. I do see the Bank of America say a July Fed rate hike would be unprecedented. They expect the Fed to hold rates in July, despite markets pricing a small chance of a hike. The bank has said a July increase would be unprecedented, noting the Fed has never hiked since 1994 with less than 60% odds priced in for a hike. They see higher oil prices as the main inflation risk and remain bullish on the dollar. But yeah, Bank of America thinking we're not going to hike, we're going to pause. And I agree. I don't think we're going to hike either. But markets are still pricing in a 35% chance, essentially, of that happening here. So, time will tell. Guys, time will tell. ADP took back the seat. Yeah, people care less. The weekly report for ADP is not that big. I refuse to believe that China can't produce their own chip domestically. If that's what you think, it's probably because that's what they want you to think, John. Regarding them, I mean, they can produce their chips domestically for sure. But the question is the quality of those chips in terms of, you know, competition versus the United States, right? I think it's the real question with it. And I think they're still a ways off. But they're not going to tell us, like, either way here. They're not going to go super in-depth and, you know, just tell us their plans. But, I mean, you got to understand, it's a perception war as well with that. Like, it is a perception, you know, thing.
Also, I think, to put it delicately, depends on whether or not they've acquired, you know, like blueprints or designs for the machines and technology that they need.
Sure. Yeah. No, for sure. PayPal CEO and reported M&A interest says we don't comment on market speculation. I see U.S. private hiring slowed for the fifth straight week. ADP data showed private employers added an average of 15,000 jobs per week, marking the fifth consecutive weekly slowdown. Hiring is falling from 35,750 in early May to 15,000, signaling continued cooling in the labor market ahead of the upcoming employment reports next week. Again, though, 15K is roughly what we showed up as last time. And let's see what oil does here. Oil is up. But we haven't heard too much geopolitics news here, which I don't necessarily mind. But We'll see. We have 8 minutes. We do have ADP data out already, and we do have trade balance data, I believe, at 8:30 today. Let me make sure. CB consumer confidence at 10. Yeah, we got the goods trade balance for June. It's expected at negative 100.3 billion. Wholesale inventories, resale inventories as well. I don't think those are going to move markets necessarily. If you think China is way behind the US, you have to be delusional. I don't think they're way behind, but I think they're behind. Is China competing with the US in chips, guys? Let me know. Yes or no? The Dow? Dow. Boomers. Look at the Dow. Look at what you have done. Celebrate. The Dow's up. Look at the Dow today. In a market that's scared, the boomers are here. You know, saying, you know what? We don't care. We don't care about chips. We don't care about AI, they say. Probably. They say we care about the Dow. The Dow is rising right now. It's at 52,831s. Hey, Max. I see you, Max. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to ignore you, bro. Forgive me, Max. Forgive me.
He did it on purpose, Max. I watched him.
Yeah, I mean, China competes with the U.S. in a lot of things, for sure.
If they're not a direct competitor, a direct threat right now, I'm pretty sure they will be soon. Mostly because of their lack of bureaucracy and red tape and regulation. They can, like I said, I've said this before. When they want to work on something or develop something, they just do it. Like consequences,
for sure.
be darned, to be polite about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if it competes with the U.S., they usually want to get involved with it. Feels like China's winning and is doing very good. Yo, morning, keep it up. Your thoughts on the SPY and Tesla today? Tesla's a dumpster fire. SPY is doing all right. It's still down. Gold's starting to bounce back higher here, though. Boomers love Bank of America, Boeing, GM, Philip Morris. Yeah, they do. Yeah, Kospi's down 10%, but it's down 30% in the last few months. But, I mean, all chip stocks are up. You know, like, yeah, they originally said Kospi's down 10%, but it's 80% up in a year. So it's a healthy pullback. Yeah, and I mean, that's another question here. Do you guys think these pullbacks in memory are healthy? Like, here's MU. It doesn't look like a bad long-term graph here. Like, these are the gains that MU has made in the last 12 months. Got up to 1255s. This dip is what we're all experiencing right now. But this is also how some bear markets starting look. Like, sometimes when bear markets start, they kind of look like this. Where they, you know. And so, I'm not putting it past that. But I do think MU, the PE ratios justify memory to a certain extent at the very least. And long term, I think these are still going to be fine because I think regardless of which way we go, you still need HBM chips and you still need memory because of that. So, I real quick though, look at MU jump a little bit short term in the last 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we were definitely high. The last SanDisk earnings report, just to put this into perspective, the last SNDK earnings, I thought it was up a huge amount. And the price that it was at, that I thought it was a huge amount up, was like 650. It's at 1200 right now. It's up basically 100% versus where it was. And so the last earnings report for SanDisk, it was at 650. You know, this was back here a couple months ago. It is now up to 1200s. It got as high as 2300s though. And so, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was up just way too much. But PE ratios justify it to a certain extent. And that's the weird thing, is that, like, if you look at PE ratios, they kind of validate this some. No? Isn't MU a big head and shoulders pattern, basically? No one uses AI? I mean, obviously, that's not true. I lost 40% of my portfolio in a week. Thanks, SanDisk. Well, bro, I mean, listen. I like memory. You know? I like memory a lot. Long term. But short term, SanDisk was one of the most extended ones. This thing got up to 2300. Last earnings, it was at 600s. That's huge percentage moves. That's hundreds of percent up. And so, I guess the point I'm trying to make is it probably wasn't time to buy SanDisk, brother. You know, long term, it's still probably going up. But short term, there's risks buying anything that's up that much in such a short period of time. And that's with any sector, regardless of how healthy the sector is. The bears are cheating. All right, guys, we do have the data coming out in about 2 minutes here. Let's see what we get. Not really big influential data, but it's something. Good trades balance expected at 100.3. Retail inventories. We got CB consumer confidence at 10. Case-Shiller house price index at 9. And so I'm going to put the NASDAQ up here, which, again, the NASDAQ is technically in correction territory. It's back over 28,000, though. So we did just break over 28K for the NASDAQ. We'll see what the good trades balance data shows, but we are over 28K in the NASDAQ as of now. So let's see what happens here. About a minute left. Is it a buy here, though? Capital preservation, Soxel. Oh, AI. I'm using AI for everything. Old data. Yeah. Lose. Capital preservation. I wish I had some memory left. All right, guys. Let's see what the data shows. We got a minute left. A minute left. Gold is a buy here. Long term, I think gold's, pretty solid right here. Is it risk-free? No. Could we continue dropping? No. A bet on gold would essentially be betting on yields falling down from conflict ending. But if the conflict gets dragged on, gold might still negatively, react the longer the conflict goes on. All right, guys, here we go. Almost 8:30. We got 30 seconds left. Do you guys like gold where we're at now? Gold's just over 4K. Oh, I'd buy gold at 3,000 for sure. Gold hits 3K, I'm buying it. Invest in Pokemon cards. All right, here we go, guys. 15 seconds. Let's see what the data shows here. 15 seconds. Again, it's expected at negative 100.3. We got retail inventories for June as well. It's all a little old data, but it's something. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the report. Negative 101 billion. More negative than expected. Which means that we are importing more than expected, exporting less. I'll put the data up on screen. Not really going to impact the markets, though, like I told you. If I thought it would move markets, I'd put it in the title, but it doesn't. All right, so the Yemeni foreign minister says it will not accept any violation of Yemen's airspace and will take measures to defend its sovereignty, according to Yemeni media. As that going up a little bit, it's still over.
Hey, I'll be back.
All right. Oil's down to 81.40s. Let's see oil today. I don't know if I want to buy oil right now. I kind of do, actually. But the risk in buying oil right now is we get obviously some optimistic de-escalating geopolitical news. But I still might buy a small amount here. I did this yesterday. It worked. We'll try it again today. I don't know why they're not throwing my volume profile up here, but that's all right. All right, I'm going to buy a little bit of oil here. Wait, what's going on here? Fund your account to unlock simulated trading. What? Are they making me pay for market data now? Wholesale inventory showed up at 0.3 versus 0.2%. What is going on? Counts. Why is my account telling me this right now? This is a funded account on Apex. Weird. Is anybody else having issues with Apex today? It won't let me trade. Log out and back in. I've done that. What about quantum stocks? It's so bearish it won't let you trade. Quantum stocks are, I mean, they're back up a little bit, but they're still down a lot. I don't know if I necessarily trust quantum stocks as of now. No, I didn't get liquidated. I'm up 3K on this account. Let me check other oil. It's weird, my volume profile went away too. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this settled. Nobody uses AI, but I'm going to ask AI this. Is Brit sabotaging you? Probably. As much as I like gold and silver long term, they are a risk of a crash along with crypto and the NASDAQ. Yeah, I mean, again, with all this stuff, right? Like with all of gold's sensitive to yields right now. What pushes yields higher? Higher oil prices. Real quick, oil just wiggled a little bit. Hold on. Not a crazy move, but look at the volume jump. Could be algorithms picking this up. Look at that. But no, this is the right account, bro. Like, look, here's my PA account. Log out. Apex accounts. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here with this. I mean, it kind of helped me, but why isn't it let me trade today? Oil's still dipping down some here, though. Let me see. See if that holds. Actually required upgrade to keep trading. Your trial is expired and you can't make live trades. Open a live account to start trading live. What? I don't understand. Okay. Trade of 8. I don't see anything on Apex though regarding a live account or anything. Oil continues to fall though here. I'm trying to see if we got any breaking news. Weird. Oil just jumped up too. This is very strange. Alright, look at oil.
Actually, oil just slept a little bit. Trump is speaking right now. He said Iran came out and said we are talking. Iran understands they will never have a nuclear weapon. Netanyahu wants to stay involved with Iran. Visa to cut 7% of its workforce, totaling about 2,600 jobs. So the president is speaking somewhere right now. He said Iran came out and said we are talking. They understand they will never have nuclear weapons. Great place to buy if you believe in averages. No, I've checked the credentials. Is it just oil? No, it's the NASDAQ too. Yeah, this is a PA Apex funded account. I mean, we did pretty good this week. This month we did pretty good as well. Weird. Yeah, it's weird. My volume profile is gone as well, which is strange. Like I told you guys that this morning. My volume profile is gone. The only thing is unless I left a trade on, which I don't think I did, and it still shows on Apex's dashboard as active. Fake news. Speaking through his teeth, the oil's a gap close to 86. Yeah, look at oil. Oil's at 81s right now. All right, guys. So yeah, we'll figure this out. But oil is still falling a little bit. Nasdaq is still rising. Where's chips at? MU still pulling back down, starting to test the lows. Nvidia still dropping down. ASML is starting to fall. Yeah, that one. Saudi oil refinery is still down. Oil is a gap. Yeah, I don't know what we get today. I think it's a little nerve-wracking heading into the open, though, but... I see Kuwait Petroleum Company shuts down parts of 615,000 BPD AI, or Al Zour oil refinery. Again, on a Fox News interview, President said Iran, understanding they will never have nuclear. Iran said they are talking. Yeah, I don't have trade. I'm gonna have to trade a different account today, I guess. I'll figure this out. Gold is feeling the eye. Yeah, I mean, we can look at gold. ASML still getting hammered here. Gold seems cheap here too. Q has a high chance of falling. What do you guys get here in terms of markets? I think we could have choppiness today, to be honest, here, heading into the Fed meeting and earnings. Do you guys think we'll chop today? I think it's a good chance here. Tomorrow's the Fed meeting. We got big tech earnings tomorrow evening as well, and Thursday. So I think with all that stuff going on, I think there's a chance that we go sideways and we don't move that much, all things considered. We have Visa earnings. Yeah, I see those. I got 2 of those legacy Apex accounts. I got them both to 2,700, but don't know if I'm going to pay the $88 to keep them going. The $88, what, activation fee? Yeah, this one's already activated. I already activated this account that I'm trying to use. Monthly change, monthly charge.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, mine does it. Best July every day's choppy. Every day is not choppy right now. I would say it's the opposite of choppy in markets right now. What's up, Britt? The reversals and sentiments always freak out. Rediscovery and price. I stopped adding to my Q grid. 105 shares at holding. Told you long short. Boring day. I have to trade a regular futures account. I'm still looking at single stock futures though. Yeah, hold it down, Britt. Sorry, dude. Talk about AI. Talk about jobs. Talk about something. I got oil still down to 81s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta hold it down. I'm still trying to figure this out. Oil down, gold is up. Yeah, I see Hynix results 9 a.m. Korea time, folks. Yeah, it's at like 6 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Nasdaq's still slumping down some. Sorry, Britt, go ahead. I know I told you to talk.
No, it's cool. Honestly, I'm kind of on the spot. I don't really have anything to talk about anyway, so...
Don't you dare, Britt. Don't you dare.
What? Talk about food?
Yeah.
Why does that matter? Why does that bother you?
No, I'm just messing with you. It's kind of a running joke. Oil's still fading down to 81s here, guys. I'm kind of pissed here, though, dude. What is going on with my account here?
Talk about tacos? I can talk about tacos because I made tacos last night.
Yeah, they're probably talking about taco. Trump always.
I know what they're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That sounded like really aggressive. No, I mean, like, I know what they're talking about, but like, I prefer actual tacos, but that's just me.
What? I mean, oh yeah, real tacos?
Yeah.
I like real tacos.
Hello.
Yeah, this seems to be some type of glitch with Trade of 8.
What's the problem? Like, what's happening?
So it says I'm connected to the correct Apex PA and Trade of 8. But Ninja Trader's own web UI is still treating your profile as a regular user with an expired SIM. So it shows my...
Tacos. I like soft tacos, but soft tacos are only really good if you're like I only prefer them if I'm traveling because they keep. I know this is not interesting at all, but it is what it is.
Yeah, what kind of tacos do you make? I mean, real tacos. Yeah, I started to get British tired of being perceived as a noob. Crunchy tacos. We can talk about Windows updates. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. There's not any big news. Trump said we had the confines of a deal with Iran. So I am seeing some news on that front. Only ships we want to get. We had the confines of a deal with Iran. Only ships we want to get through the strait. Iran doesn't control the strait. We control the strait. Is what he's saying. Iran needs to make it formal to not have nuclear weapons. Iran has essentially agreed not to have them. We'd like to avoid striking Iran bridges and power plants. I'm not looking to do that. This is a good time for Iran to make a deal. We have a very strong position with Iran right now.
If we control the strait, then we control the strait. That's fine. But just I don't like when it's phrased that way. I'm not taking one side or the other, but it's like they don't control it. We control it. Just sounds kind of childish, honestly.
Yeah. All right, so we just bought a little bit of micro CL futures here. I'm gonna buy them and toss, and we'll add to this maybe here. On these dips, we'll take 3 micros, maybe 4. In oil. I don't know why I rejected that one either. Man, my platform's all screwed up today. But here's oil. We're at 3 micro contracts of oil. He controls nothing. Yeah, I mean, look, it's all perception.
I mean, I wasn't saying he does or he doesn't, or we do or we don't. I was just saying I don't like the presentation necessarily, the couching of that statement. That's all.
Right, for sure. I feel you. The Dow's still jumping up. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if chips unlock volatility at the opening bell. I'm greeted by oil trade, but I gotta reach out to Apex and freaking see what's going on here with my stuff. Maybe it's Trade Evade. Maybe I should reach out to Trade Evade. I'm in the right oil trades, right? V6. No, it's definitely not V6. MCL.
How can you control something that doesn't belong to you? You can. I mean, it's entirely possible to control something that doesn't belong to you. Just long term or short term, I don't know how feasible that is. And yeah, I think I cut out. Oh well. It makes you guys feel any better. I'm thinking I got a prime grade brisket in the freezer that I'm thinking about smoking and turning into an all day chili. I mean,
chili's good.
Yeah, chili's awesome. I love your mom's chili.
My mom's?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, she makes
chili. I always have.
Yeah. Target up to 142.
Sorry.
Does Apex only allow 6 payouts? I'm tired of the market manipulating rhetoric. Yeah, I mean, look, guys. It's all both sides kind of embellish things, is what it is. Like, both sides embellish things. That's kind of how it goes in stuff like this.
Brisket is not the same as a tri-tip. Tri-tip is very, very lean, and a brisket is very, very not. I mean, it varies by grade of beef, but...
I live in California. I paid $5.89 a gallon yesterday. Yeah, I mean, gas is definitely higher. My oil trade's not going well. I will cut this. The president is speaking, so I'll give it a second here, but yeah, I can't tell if Raga's a bot or whether he's like a 12-year-old. No offense to you, Raga. I just can't tell if you're a bot or you're like a 12-year-old. You're always talking about Trump's cute. You're talking about I'm being cute. You don't ever really say anything else. There's 50-50 shot you're a bot. U.S. oil, log scalp soon, brisket.
I love that you accidentally read that.
I know, yeah. I get stuck in it. Yeah, no. I'm gonna have to put in a contact a support ticket. All right, guys. So I made an oil. I think I'm just gonna sit in this oil long and just wait a second to see. I think the market's going down on some of Trump's quotes, but I think oil's already down a lot over the last day on this optimism from strikes, and so I think I'll just sit in this. Let's see. See, then it won't even let me log in, dude. This is weird. Log into Apex Help. No. Okay, what is going on right now, bro? Alright, so I'm still down here. We'll give it a second, though. Alright, oil's still falling. I don't know. I'll probably cut it if it doesn't hold. Well, how is oil down? Oil's down because the president's been speaking saying Iran wants to make a deal. Is what's going on. It's hard to tell what happens here, but he's basically saying Iran wants to make a deal. I'm giving oil a chance to bounce back. We are down in this trade, but I'm giving it a chance to bounce back. It's a small trade. We're almost at the 9 o'clock scrum here in 4 minutes. And then we do have the Case-Shiller House Price Index and more. But oil continues to fall. I think it's on Trump quotes. Trump says Toyota building plants in the U.S. to avoid tariffs. He did in the interview. He said, on the USMCA, I'd rather be independent. Oman has presented new ideas for the management of the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran has not yet responded, according to a senior Iranian source. But he said only ships we want to get through the strait. I'll give this some time though. Tom Lee said we're close to the bottom. Toss made me click agreements for single stock futures. Bro, why won't it let me do it here? Like, where's my agreements, dude? Hold on, maybe that's why I can't see anything. Need to close oil with a 7 handle. I think I'm going to sit in it here. I'm going to give it some time. I don't mind losing a little bit, but I'm gonna sit in it. Where did Toss make you click the agreements for single stock futures? Because I don't see that anywhere. I'm trying to find it. But when I go to single stock futures on Toss, it looks like this. Like slash NVIDIA. Here's single stock futures. It's supposed to be single stock futures, but all it shows me is this right here. So, unfortunately, Iran has all the cards. It pops up after I restart. Did. Should I restart Toss? 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 Should I rest Oil $76 a barrel incoming. I don't know, man. I'm in oil. But I here's the 9 o'clock scrub. We got it in a minute and a half. Oil's starting to bounce back. We'll see if my oil log works out. I'm going to let it work. Do you guys think positive or negative reactions from earnings season? Again, earnings season is here. Another phase of it starts tomorrow. We got some earnings today, but we have Microsoft Meta tomorrow. Software is a big story going into Microsoft earnings. And then we have Meta as well tomorrow. And this is right after the Fed meeting. So just to put this into perspective, tomorrow we got the FOMC meeting. And then after that, we got Meta and Microsoft earnings. And then the next day on Thursday, we have PCE and GDP inflation. And then after that, we have Apple earnings and more. So we got a gang of catalysts this week. We got CB consumer confidence today. I don't think that's really going to move anything. But I see Iran's military commander says any company or country that receives money from Iranian assets will not be allowed to pass through the strait, according to Tasnim. But oil's starting to move back up a little bit here. Let's see if this actually holds. Negative earnings season. Oil 69 tomorrow. Sideways at the open. Sketchy week to trade. It's definitely a lot of volatility here. Oil tried to hold. Yeah, I mean, I'm long. If we break down under this low, I'll probably cut it. So we're back down to almost flat in oil. Look at oil start to jump up a little bit more. It's not a huge move, but it is starting to rebound. We're almost green in the trade. Is this a news candle? Let me see. We did jump up pretty quickly there. EU plans to sanction record 1,600 firms. Case-Shiller house price index did show up at 1.6. Previously it was 1.1. But oil just jumped back over 81 a barrel for WTI crude. Ugh. Good job being patient. Yeah. Message from Tosh shows up immediately when you log in. Once I get out of this oil trade, I'll try to reset. Alright, it looks like this is a news candle. It could be the news we covered with the Iranian commander. It could be the market, just the 8 a.m. scrum, though. I'll take a little bit off here. Build up a cushion like I normally do in these accounts. We're up to the 200 EMA as well. We'll take a little bit more off. We'll hold this little piece. We'll see what happens here on the rest. Still heading up though here for oil. I don't see any catalyst to really do it here either. Let me look more. House price index, Case-Shiller. Apple prepares to release smart home devices based on Siri AI. But oil's bouncing up more. See if it gets over the 200 EMA. Still heading up here for oil. You think hawkish or dovish Fed tomorrow? I really don't know. I think we're going to pause. Maybe we'll have pause with a hawkish tone. I think it's plausible. I'm long Britain physical gold, silver long term. As I said from the start, this war will likely last 5, 10 to 20 infinity years. I hope not, dude. How long does the conflict last? I hope it's not 5+ years. I mean, it's possible, but I would say it's unlikely it lasts that long. But it's possible. I don't think it will, but it's possible. Yeah, Trump is done speaking right now. Apple reportedly intends to roll out the new Home Hub between October 26 and early 2027.
I thought the conflict will last years, personally. I mean,
Yeah.
if we don't reach some kind of final conclusion and make of that what you will, then I expect there to be re-engagements over the years, just like there have been since 1979. But
Right.
This specific engagement, I don't think will last years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hope not. You know, if it does, I mean, we're going to have a pretty hawkish stance moving forward if the conflict lasts that long. Oil prices just stay elevated, and gold will probably continue falling down. I'm still trying to see about crude and, you know, if there's a reason for this. Moonshot seeks NVIDIA Blackwell chips for Kimi. According to the information, Chinese AI startup Moonshot is seeking more NVIDIA Blackwell chips for the next model. Let me see what the chat's got to say about how long this thing lasts. Gold go up. Are hawkish and dovish toads not considered as forward guidance? Yeah, but if he gives out some hawkish or dovish, he might not. Wait until oil is over 120. Trump says U.S. would strike if Iran fails to reach an agreement. Yeah, no, I don't think you want that necessarily. That's just your prediction, Sam, which is fine. All right, oil's still heading higher here. We are long in oil. We did this yesterday. To 81.30s here. I'm gonna give it a second to see if it holds. Possible meetings in London this week on the Strait of Hormuz involving the Defense Secretary Streeting and the U.S. Secretary Hegseth is now expected to take place, according to BBC. They say conversations are continuing as the various parties work on planning and coordination for potential future multinational missions. I'm still long oil here. We get another dip, I might buy more. It's pretty small right now, though. I'm a buyer at 11. Won't even escort tankers. Can't buy or sell on Robinhood right now. Alright, so I might buy a little bit more. Alright, we're gonna add some more to this here. Let's see what happens. We've got a cushion on the day. I just want to see if we bounce back here. We did reject at the 200 EMA and the 200 exponential, which are right around the same spot. MU is stuck at 860 on my screen. MU's at 840s on mine. I'm waiting for this trade to end to see if I can reset TOS and get single stock future trading. That's what I really want to see. See if we get single stock futures live. And again, right now, guys, just to recap markets today. Markets are down today. Specifically, chips are down. MU is down. The Kospi South Korean index dropped 10% overnight. So we dropped 10% overnight. MU is down big. SanDisk is down big. SK Hynix is down big. Memory names and HBM producers are down by big margins here. This comes in the wake of the China company going up 500%. That's getting into chip production. And markets are scared right now. Markets are nervous heading into this. They're worried about China catching up to the U.S. in terms of chip production. On a better front, oil is down to 81s today. So oil is down. There's optimism around that. But we are heading into the FOMC decision tomorrow, big tech earnings tomorrow, and more. So a lot of different catalysts going on right now.
And we'll see what the market does. Again, if we do have bad tech earnings tomorrow where we get negative reactions, as well as like maybe a hawkish tone, if we raise rates tomorrow, I think it's going to throw gas on this fire of markets right now. So the site Robinhood is down. Yeah, Google has a large position. Google owns a large position in SpaceX as well. And SpaceX here, when we look at it, is down to 109.60s. So SpaceX is under 110s right now. You can see I have like one share of SpaceX. I ended up taking a lot of it off. I'm not going to hold this too long, to be honest here. I just don't trust. I had to cover some of it on these drops. But this is why I don't mess with IPOs, bro. I'm just not doing that. But we'll see what happens. I had to cut most of it. I'm just not going to hold that, man. I'll hold a little piece for fun. But MU is starting to bounce back. We're at 848s. Rumors of rate hikes was the reason for the Kospi. I thought it was the China news that was really impacting things overnight more so than rate hike fears. I think rate hike fears are here, but I still don't think we're raising. I don't think we're raising rates. I think there's a chance, but again, NQ down, S&P down, Dow is up, semis are dumping, SMH is down, which is a semiconductor ETF, MU is down, WDC is down, Astera Labs is down after the Asian chip sell-off. So we did have a gap up yesterday morning. That is all faded back down. The president did say there was a good chance that Iran and the U.S. make a deal, but warned strikes could resume. But again, a lot of chip stocks are down. S&P falls. NVIDIA $750 billion in circular financing. Bloomberg article also reigniting some of these fears here. Again, China chip maker CXMT is up almost 500% in its debut after its big IPO. But that's where we're at now. That's kind of what's sparking a lot of these nerves. Ooh. Look at oil. All right, we're going to take a little bit more off of oil here. I do want to see if we get single stock futures, so I am going to reset my TOS after this. And just see. We do have a cushion, a little cushion on the day, but oil's still rising some here. It's at 81.30s right now. And so it also looks like my data is delayed on TOS. Oh, on Trade Evade. All right, let me cut this, and I'm going to get ready for to see if single stock futures thing adds, but this has got to be a little delayed. Yeah, this is definitely a little delayed on Trade Evade right now. Weird, man. I don't know why it's doing this to me today. I built up thousands in profit yesterday. It's giving me two different Apex accounts too, which is strange. It gave me this weird underlining one. But it's all delayed. Weird. All right, I'm gonna get out of here and reset. I want to see if I have access to single stock futures. Cancel. All right. How
would you have to reset to gain access to that?
Sometimes they make you sign waivers when you reset, so I'm gonna do that right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at the Trade Evade. Like, look at my Trade Evade right now. We got almost 3K in this thing, but it's delayed. Like, look at the delayed aspect of Trade Evade right now, and it's also in yellow, which is weird. Yesterday it worked fine. But let me reset TOS. See if we get single stock futures. I haven't reset my TOS since they gave out single stock futures, so let's see. I'd love to be able to trade them. Maybe, yeah, they're trying to keep the market from selling off. SpaceX times 30, or to 30. SpaceX headed to 100. US oil no 81s. Let's see if they give me single stock futures now. I would love to be able to trade single stock futures today. I was looking for it yesterday. Rates on hold, still negative for markets. I mean, rates are still pretty probable that we're not going to raise rates tomorrow. I know that's the big fears right now. And again, you can see the odds here. But it's still very unlikely that we are going to be raising rates tomorrow here. 31% chance. So the odds of a rate hike have actually decreased some now.
versus what's expected here. So the odds of a rate hike have gone down substantially. Even since this morning. When I first looked at it this morning, it was at 35.5% odds. Right now, right now it's at 31%. So, who fears it? Alright. Oh yeah, it does do single stock futures. You're right. Accept and proceed. Okay, I did accept it on TOS. But I did accept it on TOS, but do we have access to single stock futures now? Does anything else pop up? Look at it, Apple single stock futures. Still nothing here. Has anybody had success on TOS with this? On single stock futures? Like, are y'all able to trade? And if you are, what's the symbol that's showing actual volume? If I put up S NVIDIA, this is what I see. So it's not really tradable right now for NVIDIA. Single stock futures. So has anybody been able to do this so far? If you're borrowing money to buy something related to data, here's what you're going to do. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., sell it. No matter what, you will not regret it. Jim Cramer? Did Jim Cramer really say that? I feel like you're just saying stuff here. Redbook came in at 8.3%. Again, Moonshot pursuing Blackwell chips from NVIDIA, which is China's Kimi AI startup.
Russia's Kirishi refinery is preparing to restart after attacks.
Yeah. I got a message last night to try it. Yeah, I don't have any access to like real single stock futures. NASDAQ is still sitting right at 28,000 though. If you look at the NASDAQ here, it's sitting close to 28K. Buy NVIDIA. Well, I mean, long term, I think NVIDIA is cheap where it's at now, but I think there's headwind short term. Just based off of all the scary market stuff we got going on. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes until the open, 10 minutes until the market on open data here. So let's see what the opening bell brings, but we're not that far away. Nobody else is having trade evade issues on Apex, right? Like, my data's not even showing up. No alerts or anything. If U.S. government begins to buy into AI-related companies, it'll probably become too big to fail. If you're borrowing money to buy something related to data centers, sell it no matter what. Let me look up Jim Cramer here. Jim Cramer. Does anybody still like Jim Cramer's callouts? Not inverse. Jim Cramer said 3 hours ago, if OpenAI gets massive funding, then NVIDIA stock will go higher. But from this market, they have to try. They can't wait until next year. He said, we don't know where the additional DRAMs are going to come from, but the action in SK Hynix is the same as every top I've seen in the group. Anything can and will bounce, but be aware the action is prohibitive. SK Hynix really living up to its new moniker. Who are the shareholders? Some of them are DraftKings. Struggling with enterprise software here. What multiple should ServiceNow have? When you have reversals like you have in the semis this morning, it's very difficult to reverse it downward. I don't see that with Jim Cramer though. Maybe it's in under replies. Oil good versus Hynix bad. Split market again. Yeah, I don't see that on Jim Cramer. Is it on X? Unless he deleted it. Inverse Cramer. I liked his Intel calls. I used to listen to Cramer. I'm down 108% all the time. Yeah, gently tap the like button, guys. We appreciate it. It's a little slower today for news. We're just ahead of the FOMC decision.
Yeah, I don't see anything that he's posted on his X page in like the last 3 hours.
Yeah, me neither. We bouncing in 13 minutes. It's on X for Kramer. I don't see it. Feels like we get chopped today. Yeah, with the market stuff going on right now, we could get chopped. We got CB Consumer Confidence at 10. We'll see what that does to markets. I don't necessarily think it's going to have any big effect. I think markets are a little slow right now and a little nerve-wracking. So, yeah, I think markets are a little nervous right now. So I think a lot of the time ahead of the big Fed meetings. NASDAQ's still climbing here. Where's oil? Should I have held oil? That's not really moving. There's oil. Yeah, there's a Discord. John sounds like he has a lisp. Bro, I don't have a lisp. If I had a lisp, I wouldn't be able to say lisp. Just to put this into perspective, alright? Nothing against you if you do have one. I'm just saying. You know, nothing against you if you do, but I don't have one.
But if he did, it would sound like lisp.
Yeah, that's right. If I had a lisp, I wouldn't be able to say lisp, Steve. US 100 short scalping it soon near 27.9s. Yeah, NASDAQ is technically in correction territory as of now, guys. Very slow this morning ahead of the opening bell. NASDAQ is in an ascending wedge. It's a low-key one. Definitely low-key. It's got to be super low-key. Alright, guys. Let's see what we get. Alright, so TSMC says operations at the Kumanamoto plant are gradually resuming. Visa confirmed media reports on firm planning to lay off 7% of its workforce as well. Again, the Information posted this article about Chinese AI startup Moonshot seeking more NVIDIA Blackwell chips for its next model. You think NVIDIA's going to supply them? It should bounce a little. Oil is down. I mean, the NASDAQ is very flat right now. So is oil. Oil's not really moving. Actually, oil's starting to dip. Maybe I got out of that trade at the right time. Here's gold. Gold's still pretty sitting sideways as well. It's the day before the Fed meeting and big tech earnings, right? So a lot of the time we're going to get chop ahead of these things. Visa layoffs are another example of the robust economy. Again, yeah, confirmed reports surrounding the company planning to lay off 7%. Why does it say this is an eval? This isn't an eval. Yeah, this is a PA account. It's not an eval. See, this is the problem, is they somehow designated my Apex account an eval when it's a PA account. It says PA in the front of it. Weird. Oil's still dipping, so it looks like I got out of it at just the right time. We have 3 minutes until the market on open data, though. It's at 81s right now for oil. Netflix is up pretty big. Might take a little bit off Netflix here. Let's see. All right. Do I buy oil here? What do we have? 2 minutes until the market on open data. Let's see how the market on open data affects the market this morning. Very flat though. Day after big chip sell-offs. We could get flat market action, and then at the opening bell get, you know, more volatility just unlocked here, especially with all the chip stuff going on. Still watching yields, but yields are kind of back and forth too today. Polymarket has, you know, right now, if we look at the odds of a rate hike here, Polymarket has 72% chance of no change. Basically what the Fed Watch tool shows. Look at the NASDAQ start to dip here, though. Market on open data drops in a minute. Let's see if this is why, but don't see what to trade today. Slow day. It's definitely a slower market moving day. There's not a lot of volume and volatility. But this morning we asked, do we continue to bounce back today, or does the correction continue? 55% say it continues. 45% say it bounces back. Hey, my guy Ian, thank you for the sub, my friend. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. All right, here we go. Let's try to trade the opening bell. Again, operations at the Kumamoto plant are gradually resuming. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Good morning. Consolidated market today. Yeah, we got CP consumer confidence at 10, but outside of that, it's kind of a small day. Look at the NASDAQ dip here on the market on open, though. So here's the market on open data. It just dropped a minute ago. So far, we're seeing a red reaction, but here's the 200 exponential. But so far, I mean, we are seeing bearishness heading into the opening bell. Netflix is still moving up. We did bounce. I almost want to buy this a little bit here, but we're like 1 or 2 minutes into the market. I'll buy a little bit of this. Should have probably bought a couple minutes ago. But I'll keep adding here.
Well, this isn't market news, but apparently firefighters in Spain and France are racing to contain wildfires threatening Madrid and Bordeaux.
Interesting. Yeah, we've heard a lot of fire news lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little bit more here. I'm going to try to cut out of this. Yeah, see, even my toss is being weird today, bro. I'm running into just weird glitches, dude.
How old is your computer?
It's not that old. I'm thinking about buying another one, though. It's probably time. This one just doesn't cut it. Glitches out.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it might be, you know, hardware or firmware.
Yeah, for sure. That one worked. Weird. All right, guys, here we go. I'm actually up a lot today, though, based off of some of these oil trades I got involved with earlier. I'll have to cut this NASDAQ position here, though, I think. Still very green on the day, but... we have, what, 2.5 minutes until the opening bell. Yeah, dude, I started vaping again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to quit. You know, like I said, I'm trying. It's a hard thing to stop, really. Also, guys, if you haven't already, Lucid has some new options for Lucid Pro. They got rid of the daily loss limit on Lucid Pro accounts. I don't know if you guys realize this, but they did get rid of the DLL on 25K Pro. I was trying to see the news for this earlier. Once you're actually funded, that is. There's no more DLL. 40% consistency, and a 50K Pro has an end-of-day drawdown as well.
All right, so I'm gonna have to cut this. Nasdaq oil's starting to jump and the Nasdaq's starting to fall here. Yeah, we're just gonna get out small. Nasdaq's starting to dip. All right, let's see what we get. We got a minute and a half left. Gonna crash systems weak. I've tried single stock futures. I don't really have any good access to them, to be honest here. If you guys have single stock futures pulled up, let me know the symbol, because none of mine are really working. But the Nasdaq's starting to fall at the opening bell here, guys. So we are starting to dip. All right, we'll have to trade. We'll take profit today. All right, guys. Let's see what we get. Here's the opening bell in 30 seconds. Nasdaq's starting to fall. Oil's starting to rise. Yeah, Lucid has daily payouts as well. If you want to check out Lucid, I'll put the link up. Great way to help support the channel. All right. But look at the Nasdaq dip ahead of the opening bell. Here we go. 15 seconds. 15 seconds here, guys. Yeah, if you want to check out Apex, great way to help support the channel. It seems like it's just my glitch. They'll get it fixed. Look at Nasdaq start to dip. Here's the opening bell. All right, there we got a little bit of a green resurgence at the opening bell, though. I'm watching memory really close today at the opening bell. Maybe I could have held this, but memory is bouncing back very slightly at the opening bell, very slightly. See if we hold. I'm watching memory very close, though. Watching Nvidia very close. MU starting to push down, though. Look a little sketchier right now, to be honest. We're down to 950s. Under 28,000. I'm watching 28K closely on the Nasdaq here. Still dipping sub. Up to 955s. Nasdaq starting to fade down a little bit here. A lot of this is driven by Nvidia dumping down under 194s here. So Nvidia's falling down, MU's falling down a little bit, SanDisk is dipping down some, tech is falling some except for maybe Google, but even Google's starting to reverse. So Nvidia fading here after that Bloomberg article about the 750 million circular financing, down to 27,900s right now. Big red at the opening bell. We did get some volatility unlocked at the opening bell today, guys. Look at this. Look at this movement here. Yesterday we had deep pullbacks at the opening bell. I'm gonna wait to trade. I'm gonna follow my rules here, but definitely a little nerve-wracking right now. Let's see if we get more bearishness. Come in. Excuse me. Forgive me. Bull or bear right now? Oh, wait. I said I wouldn't ask that. I'm sorry. Never again. Never again. IBM over 120. Boomer Index is winning. The Dow is winning. Nasdaq just broke the opening low again here. Again, a lot of this is from Nvidia falling down some. Chips falling down some. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix, all pulling back some. So memory starting to fade even more at the opening bell, guys. Y'all be careful here. Nvidia's actually bouncing up a little bit, but look at memory fading down, and look at this red candle here. So we are dropping at the opening bell right now, specifically on memory. SK Hynix is about to break lows of the day if it drops a little bit further. It's at 134. Low of the day is 133.70s for SK Hynix here. So, like, look. Nasdaq still dipping. Here's SK Hynix. Down to 134s. Look at MU, down. SanDisk, down. SanDisk cracked lows of the day at 1150s. Nvidia's starting to rebound a little bit, though. It's at 195s. So Nvidia trying to hold. Maybe that'll help the market some here, but... $27,900s. Still seeing some red at the open. Ooh, do we buy or sell this right now? I gotta wait. What are we, 3.5 minutes into the day? I could wait a little while longer. But we are heading into the FOMC. We're heading into earnings season. We're heading into big catalyst, GDP and PCE later this week. But the NASDAQ with an open red. I was thinking about buying it. I can technically trade right now. I don't know if I want to yet, though. We'll wait. We start to get close to these lows at 850s and really 840s down here. That's going to be a scared market. So my bias is bearish just because we're so close to these lows. But I also understand a buy here, but I might short on this retracement pullback here. See if we get some dips. Maybe add to it if it goes in my favor here. It's a good support level for MU and DRAM. See, I'm worried we're just going to quickly retrace back up and trap all the shorts that are jumping in with me. Here's the only risk, but we can take more risk in this account. There we go. All right, we'll take a little bit off. Take a little bit more off here. Protect. See if we hold down now. Take one more off down here. Maybe add back to it. We'll hold the rest flat now and get out here, break even.
Coca-Cola shares climbed as much as 5.2% to fresh record high, apparently.
Yeah,
And,
they're up to $88. I'm in Coca-Cola right now. It's one of my hedge positions against tech.
Wonder why
Retail.
they're climbing.
Earnings. They had earnings earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you talked about this earlier, but pretty impressive. Apple surpassing $5 trillion in market value for the
Yeah,
first
it's now
time.
the largest company in the world now. Beats NVIDIA
Yeah.
now, which is interesting for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if that'll flip back anytime soon.
We'll see, you know. I think they'll go back and forth, but it depends on what happens with chips short term.
Yeah.
This looks bearish to me, though. We just rejected at a shorter term moving average, and we're heading towards some of these lows. I'll jump in short. I don't really like taking shorts like this, but I think the momentum's heavy. Yeah, there we go. We're too close to these lows. I think, see if we crack lows real quick. We're right there. But here, bearishness and chips continue. Momentum on the downside's back. We'll take one off here now. Cut it right here. I think we might still break down, though. We're about to crack that low. The 840 level in the NQ is the big level here. So it's the 840 level. Yeah, we're still breaking lows. Look, we're right at that 840 level here, so we're exactly at that level. The sell-off is still strengthening here. Yeah, we just cracked that low. 27,840s here, 27,820s now. So we broke that low. The question is, do the downturns and chips continue here? MU is down, SK Hynix is down, SanDisk is all down since the opening bell. Memory sell-offs continuing at the open. It's a pretty easy short day, but we're down a lot, so if we reverse, we could reverse fast, is what I think.
Rotation into software is definitely possible here with IBM bouncing back a little bit. Adobe's had a good couple days as well. Microsoft's very green since the opening bell, got up to 400s here for Microsoft, so they're starting to bounce back also. Let's see if chips continue to break down. Now, this is all driven by chips, specifically HBM memory producers like SanDisk, MU, SK Hynix. SK Hynix down to 133s right now, so we are, steady falling into all this. Reversal's low. Dow, next long scalpers. Look at this low drop here. So we are still fading fast here right now, guys. We are fading quickly here into all this stuff, dude. Yeah, chips are breaking down right now, dude. Y'all be careful. Coca-Cola is still rising, breaking highs, almost up to 90. Almost time for me to take a little bit off of Coca-Cola. I mean, I like holding it long term, but still, just risk management. I'll take a piece off.
According to investors at Man Group, investors are far too complacent on additional Tier 1 bonds, the riskiest type of bank debt.
Yeah.
What do you know about Tier 1 bonds? I don't know anything else.
Not a lot. Not a lot. I understand the bond market, but, yeah. Look, we're starting to break down. We're at under 27,800s now on the NASDAQ here. I'm trying to see other important levels right now. But the chip sell-off is strengthening into this. We are now under, let me see where we're at in terms of lows. Yeah, so we have now broken lows we have not seen since May in the NASDAQ. So we broke May lows here on chip sell-off at the opening bell. MU's down to 817s. The 800 level on MU might be a big milestone spot too, because that's like the low of the last little while for MU as well. So big red at the open. Fears at the open. No, sorry, that's just me on toss today. Carry trade is happening. Falling knife. Obviously tomorrow would be bullish. I don't know. Yeah, again, SpaceX down to 107 still, guys. Look at SpaceX right now. Nvidia's starting to bounce back, but look at SpaceX. Look at MU. Look at SanDisk. Look at SK Hynix. All down since the open. The downward move is not that big, but in the wake of everything going on, I think it's just a lot of fears. We're starting to see a green candle in the mix here, though, so we are starting to see a rebound candle of some sort at the very least. Bitcoin dumping. Yeah, I mean, gold's falling also. Gold's down almost the lows of the day. The question is, does Nvidia continue to bounce back here? Because, remember, Nvidia is one of the most heavily weighted stocks in the stock market. It opened red, but it's now in kind of a range here. Yeah, I don't think we're raising. We could, but I don't think so. Again, I could ask the chat again. Do you guys think we'll raise? It's hard to tell. I don't think so, though. Still lower odds. Less probable outcome. Just cracked lows again, guys. Got down to under 780s for a split second here. Still falling here, guys. Wow. Nvidia's starting to turn down too, man. And again, the NASDAQ is technically in correction territory already. And it's still falling down some here. So, scary, scary market right now. I know Lucid dropped... Scary. Real quick, chat. I know Lucid dropped its daily plan. I don't see the daily plan anywhere. Why isn't it up yet? So like, look, it's supposed to show Lucid Daily right here. I don't see it yet. At least that's what everybody's talking about. How do I find it? Still falling. We're at 735s right now. Okay, I can see it on here though. If I add it here, I can see it. No consistency in funded daily payouts. No activation fee on the new Lucid Daily accounts. Look, NASDAQ's still falling here, but look at the Lucid Daily accounts. Again, 50K, 3,000. You can select end of day drawdown options now or intraday. Consistency of 50%. No activation fee, daily payouts, no consistency in funded. Those are all really useful here. If you select EOD, I like it a lot. That's even a better option. If you want to check it out, I'll put the link up for Lucid. Great way to help support the channel here. But man, the NASDAQ is falling quick. John, I'm starting to think the midterm dip is here through September. Lower highs, lower lows with some pops. Yeah, bro. I mean, we are starting to fall for sure. We could dip until midterms. Look, here's the Lucid. Yeah, there's the Lucid link if you want to help support your friend here. We appreciate it. It's just a discount by the dip. That's a pretty big discount right now, all things considered. And memory keeps breaking down. Nvidia's testing lows of the day. NASDAQ just cracked lows again. MU just broke lows as well. So we're still falling here, dude. I don't want to... It's hard for me to long this right now, guys. No? I'm kind of scared. Last dip before it goes back up. This is the NASDAQ. Liquidity, transition, transfer. I'm tempted to buy just because it's down, but it's a risky buy. If I do it small size, just crack lows again. Still fading. Look at this drop here, man. Wow. Nvidia just breaking lows down to 193s. Chip sell-off is here. I gotta say, Michael Burry kind of nailed this one. He did.
I agree, but do you think that he was in... I mean, I know he can't control earnings and all that other stuff, but in terms of the psychology behind it, do you think he was at least in part
I've gone long.
For it?
I've gotten long, guys. Sorry, hold over it. Small little trade. I can hold the rest break even now. Okay, that's better. We'll take half off now. We got in almost at the low. At a certain point of drops, it just seems likely that even if it's a dead cat bounce and where we continue down, there's some edge on the upside, but I'll hold the rest flat. MU, SK Hynix still falling. SK Hynix is down to 130s here. I'm going to cut it right here. It looks like we might keep breaking down. So somehow we made money on the long side, but markets are still really nervous. Falling nuke. Yeah. It's definitely a little sketchy. Still falling here. Again, SK Hynix still breaking lows. MU still breaking down. We're almost to that low level here. The low level on MU, guys, remember, it's 804s. And so look at how close we are to that right now. 804s is right here. If you zoom out, this is the level I'm referencing. 804s, the low of this month. We're getting really close down to that. We're at 807s here on the NASDAQ, or on MU. I need a song that really shows fear. I gotta put sad music in now. MU down to 808. Yeah. SK Hotting's bouncing back a little bit though. I don't know if it's time to buy this here though. We did get a little bounce. Look at that green candle. Is this a news-driven candle or is this just a recovery bounce? Let's see. That's a candle though. Nasdaq set for correction with a 10% drop. Yeah, this kind of goes back to the Meta news that we got like 3 weeks ago, where Meta said it's selling excess AI capacity. It's kind of been looking at it like it's a top signal now regarding some tech selling excess AI capacity. And again, Apple is now the second company in history to surpass 5 trillion in market cap. It makes Apple the largest company in the world, 6% larger than Nvidia. But look at these green candles here. I don't see any other news though. Let me see. SpaceX is again down big. Nvidia's starting to rebound though. Nvidia hit the VWAP. I might short this little bounce here though. It's a risky short now. But it's a big enough bounce to where I think there could be some edge on the upside here. Take 4 contracts and that's it. It's definitely a risky bounce, but I think with so much fears today and with us getting close to some of these milestone levels, we could play with it. There we go. But I take half of that off. See if we still keep falling. I see the memory name starting to reverse back down some too here. There we go. There we go. Take half off. SK Hynix testing lows. Let it get out right there. Look at SK Hynix here. 130s. Nvidia rejected right at the volume weighted average price. Have we bottomed? Is this the bottom, guys, or do we continue down? Let me know in chat. Is this the bottom or do we keep falling today? Let me know. Yeah, we got CPI August. Yeah, it happens every week around or every month around the 12th or so is usually when we get it. SK Hynix still fading. We keep falling, bottom easy. What happened? Chip fears keep falling. That means we're going to fall. This is mostly driven by chips in general. Nvidia chips, HBM chip, memory producers, MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix are kind of the biggest affected by this. We have some rotation out of chips into like software. But Microsoft faded back down. IBM is starting to fade back down. So we're seeing both sectors start to fall a little bit, software and chips. Adobe's still doing really well, but it is the day before the Fed meeting as well here, so stuff's going on. Everybody gets on the Burry train. Yeah, Burry he did call it top. Maybe we're going to start to see a bounce, though. I see Nvidia trying to peak back up. But memory is still very close to big milestone lows. NASDAQ coming back down here. SK Hynix still falling. MU is at 808s right now. Nvidia pulling back at the VWAP at 193 still. So the NASDAQ is still falling. I don't know if I buy this one, though. It depends on when everything else comes up. But we do have CB consumer confidence data in 7 minutes. I mean, the easy direction is short, but I just don't trust it that much. We did form a bottom at least MU. SK Hynix is still just dumping down. Where's SpaceX? SpaceX is at 107s. We're at 700s. Nvidia's starting to fall down even more here. This might make us break lows with Nvidia's breakdown. Senate has 10 days to pass the Crypto Clarity Act before summer recess.
Well, you know, those people work hard. They deserve a month off.
Oh yeah, you know, no term limits. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody could detect sarcasm in my voice, but it
Oh
was
yeah.
there.
Oh, I do it. If you're not sarcastic, you're crazy. You know. All right, guys. MU at 810s. Looks like I need to learn how to be a short seller. I mean, short selling's easy. You just click sell, bro. I'm not telling you to do it. I would never. You know. Nvidia next stop's 175. Look, NASDAQ's right at the lows here. Let's see if we break it again. It looks like we're going to. Depends on if Nvidia... Is this a risky buy? Do I want to buy this? I think I do. It's a crazy buy, I know. But we'll jump in. Nvidia seems like it wants to bounce back here, but maybe I'm wrong. This is me shorting lows of the day and huge fear market. Or longing lows of the day, I mean. There we go. Alright. Let's like half off here. We might add more to it.
Apparently, Germany
Yep.
is quietly preparing for a potential economic showdown with China. I was
Let me
not.
get up there.
I was not even remotely aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah, look at MU. MU seems like it wants to bounce here. It's got... It also could just fall down quickly. Maybe I got out at the top. I'm watching Nvidia to gauge this, but... All right, look at the MU. Look at MU shares start to test this low again. So is SK Hynix. MU is right at lows, 807s. Nvidia's starting to fade down too here, so it looks like we're gonna keep down now. I'm not gonna buy this one. This one looks like it's gonna break. MU is right at 806. The low level is right around 804. Yeah, the bubble in memory may be popping some here. I mean, that's what we've seen. Kospi index dropped 10% overnight. Again, this is heading into a big catalyst week too, which is kind of the big question mark. It's like we're heading into the FOMC, we're heading into big tech earnings, we're heading into Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Apple earnings tomorrow and Thursday. We're heading into PCE and GDP inflation. And this is in the wake of big memory corrections, big tech corrections, big pullbacks here, big fear in markets. So next couple days could get interesting for sure. Yeah, look, SK Hynix just broke lows again. MU just broke lows again. Yeah, I know China's producing DUV, but they're still a ways out. It could the fears in chip production could be over exaggerated. ASML does not. ASML has been falling down too, though. It's at 1560s. We just crack lows again on the Nasdaq here. I almost want to see if this will be a liquidity grab, though. I'll buy it, but it's a risky buy again. I just want to see if it grabs liquidity. There we go. Yep. Yep. I'll take 2 of those off. I just wait on the rest now. Yesterday I did the same thing, mostly longing lows, but there we go. Creep it up, or I'll get out there. Call it the liquidity grab. I thought it might grab liquidity right there. Nvidia just bounced back up here. I don't see any news yet. I think this is Nvidia just rebounding sub here. CB consumer confidence came in at 90.8, forecast 92, previous was 91. So CB consumer confidence was a little bit weaker than expected. But again, I don't necessarily think this is some big market mover. It could be 10 a.m. So, but CB consumer confidence did release just now. Again, it showed up weaker than expected at about 90.8 versus 92 expected. Last time was 91, so I mean, it could calm some of the rate hike fears potentially here, but I don't think it's going to be a big level of that. MU's bouncing from the lows as well a little bit here. And again, guys, if you have not already, Lucid has their new Lucid daily accounts, right? These Lucid daily accounts are super useful. There's no activation fee. You can pass it in 1 day. Once you're funded, the payout profit target in a 50K is only $500. 40% consistency. No DLL beyond your initial trail. Or no, I'm sorry. That's in the Lucid Pro. But Lucid has this new daily plan with no activation fee, daily payouts, no consistency, and funded on the daily plan. And so another new plan for Lucid. Check it out here. I'll put the link up. Again, a great way to help support the channel. We appreciate the love. And a great way to help support us. You can use code BGT on Apex as well. They got their $59 100K intraday evals. No activation fee, $59 all in. So those are useful as well. If you want to check out Lucid, here's the link. There's the Lucid link right there. Check it out. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Help keep our content free, guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. Thanks for all the support, everybody.
Yeah, Brit's here. We caught that last liquidity grab. Question is, does this range break now? Long or short here? What do you guys think? I know longs, you're gonna have a hard time justifying it, but long, short. Would love a bounce. Short, long, long. Bear flag. Memory's starting to rebound back up though, so like we've had a red open for sure. Nvidia's not as red as you might think on the day though. It's since the opening bell, Nvidia's almost flat. Looks like more of a building node. I'll go going in hard. Alright, market's starting to rebound back up here. Let's see if we hold. Nvidia back up to 194s. Chips starting to rebound back up. Yeah, shares of consumers who said a U.S. recession over the next 12 months is somewhat likely continue to rise, but overall recession expectations remain low. 61.3% of consumers were unchanged from June. Still expected higher interest rates over the 12 months, though. Fed says FOMC meeting began as scheduled today. Nvidia is popping back up here, though. We're starting to see some rebounds in markets here, and I might buy a dip here. The logic of this, again, it's scary time to buy. I'll have to set a pretty close stop loss, but the logic of it is that we're ahead of big tech earnings. We're ahead of FOMC. A lot of the time we can range into that. So if we dip down, I might buy some here. We got a pretty big cushion on the day. I might buy this dip down here. We got a pretty large cushion on the day, so we can take a little bit more risk in this next trade. But it's definitely not risk-free, so don't copy me. Alright, we're going to add there. We're going to keep it like that. 8 contracts. Alright. I'm going to take half of this off right there. There we go. Get a little bit more off there. Hold the rest. We can hold the rest pretty much flat. I'll set a stop loss now. Tesla's going up. That's a shock, huh? Yeah, Nvidia just faded, so we got out break even on the rest. I mean, Tesla's still breaking lows, dude. Tesla doesn't look good. It's not bouncing back. Alright, big red turnaround here. Memory's starting to fall back down more. Falling towards these lows. I don't think this is news driven, but who knows? OpenAI and Anthropic are pushing for US to review for models. according to the information. Big red turnaround. Tesla just cracked lows at 301s right now. Nvidia back down to 193. MU's down to 807s, right back down to the lows of the day. SanDisk is down. SK Hynix is down. SanDisk is down to 1070s here. So this is a big crash in memory, man. Memory stocks have essentially crashed. I mean, SanDisk is down 50% or more really now versus where it was. MU is down a huge percentage. SanDisk is down a huge percentage. SK Hynix is down a big percentage. And Nvidia is a long-term hold. I'll sell it if it breaks under like 120s, 130s, but I'll probably hold it outside of that. I don't know what we should do regarding MU. I genuinely don't know.
With all those continuing to break down, I wonder if the NASDAQ is going to turn down again. I mean, I know it's been dropping sideways for a little while in here, but...
Yeah. It's starting to get close to lows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting close. MU's still at that low level here. 808s. We just had such a quick turnaround in not just memory, but like Nvidia. SOX ETF is at lows too. VIX is up to 19. Still not super high in the VIX, but... Reversal once I think we take out 27,800s. Maybe over that level. It is a double top up there. Nvidia is kind of choppy though, so I think it's going to depend on which way Nvidia goes. Nvidia is one of the most heavily weighted stocks. I think it's the most heavily weighted stock in the stock market. It's up to 194.60s. It's starting to pop back, but I think whichever way Nvidia goes is going to obviously have a big influence. Yeah, Netflix rising here. Nvidia's starting to move back up. I'm going to try to buy this again. It's a risky buy right here, though. We're up enough on the day where we can justify it, I think, though. But if we crack lows, we'll just get out. Take 4 contracts.
Yeah, I'm not having any luck today. I've been trying to trade this, and I'm not down, but I haven't been able to make almost any money.
I've been mostly a contrarian today, and it's worked out pretty well, but it's not easy money. I mean, shorting was easy earlier, but now that we've been consolidating essentially since 9:45, it's hard to tell what we're gonna do. In all honesty,
yeah, I'm up like $40, which is nice. I mean, it's better than being down, but I can't make any real progress.
Yeah, I mean, the last hour or so has been boring.
Yeah.
I mean, we break it down. It's not boring, but it's just less market.
I know what you mean.
Activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll probably cut this one and get out. We're getting too close to lows here. I might just hang it up for the day here, guys. We got the Fed meeting tomorrow. We got more stuff going on, so I'll probably just take it easy today. Again, we're kind of chopping back and forth. Maybe we end up cracking lows. I don't know, man, at this point in time. It's hard to tell what we're going to do here. But remember, Fed meeting tomorrow, big tech earnings tomorrow, a lot of stuff tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's a massive day, so y'all just be careful. Again, if you want to help support the channel, check out Apex. Apex has the cheapest accounts in the game. You can buy a 5-pack bundle for $85 for their cheapest accounts. Get 5 accounts for $85. Pretty cheap, all things considered. Lucid, again, has their new daily plan here. So if you check out Lucid, they do have their new daily plan.
If you look at it here, where you can take daily payouts, no consistency once you're funded, which is some of the biggest flex of the Lucid flex, is no consistency rule when you're funded. You know, you can see the new daily plan here, just at 25K. When profit target's 1250, max loss limit 1,000. Pretty reasonable ratio, 50% consistency, but no consistency in funded and no daily. And you can take daily payouts, no activation fee as well. So, and you can choose between like intraday or end of day here. You know, it'll lower the price. So pretty good options for the Lucid daily plan. I like Lucid end of day drawdowns because your drawdown doesn't follow you up, if that makes sense. And so I'll put this link up. Great way to help support the channel. I'll also put the Apex link up one more time. Again, a great way to help support the channel. Here's the Apex link right here. But yeah, or here's the Lucid link.
Take advantage of it, guys. It's a good deal. Hit the like button on the way out the door if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, we appreciate it. NASDAQ just cracked lows after we said we were going to maybe close it down here. There's the link right there. Yeah, we just cracked lows. Looks like I got out of that long in time. I've mostly made money on the long side today. But again, if you want to check out Apex, link is in the description. Just use code BGT for the max discounts on whatever platform you like. It's a great way to help support the channel. We appreciate it. Everything's free here. I promised people a long time ago I wouldn't have paywalls behind my content, like sell courses and stuff. So I stick to that. You want to help support our free content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, use code BGT at checkout, and we'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day.
Hey, everybody.